I think I have successfully learned how to launch a stream without it breaking. Nope, already have an issue going on. It's inevitable. I tell you, it's just a thing with me. I love it so much. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Symphony. Symphony Entertainment, Gaming, and Arts is my gaming company that focuses on horror systems, indie games, organic content, and player agency in an attempt to bring a symphonic approach to horror role-playing. I am your host, Bridget Jeffries, but this afternoon I will not be serving as your keeper of arcane lore because we have the Keeper Doc bringing with them their Electrum best-selling Miskatonic repository scenario, Swamp Song, in just a moment. But before I have Doc introduce himself and this product, if you are not aware, for the entire month of May, Symphony is hosting Miskatonic May, a symphony celebration of Miskatonic repository content. What is the Miskatonic repository? It is an official online collection of user-made content that allows creators like you, like me, like the people on this call, to publish their own 7th edition Call of Cthulhu playable content. Creators can make money. They can put it up for free. They can put it as, pay what you want. It is entirely up to the creator. So if you have questions regarding the program, how to publish, how to get support, compliance, whatever, or how just to get started with the other Keeper Doc in chat, feel free to email me at bridget@chaosium.com. That is Bridget, bridge that you walk across with 2 T's, at chaosium.com, and I'll get you plugged into all the resources. There are amazing communities who have invested time, dedication, and energy in supporting other Miskatonic repository creators. So there are communities such as the Stars Are Right podcast. They roll out a whole package where if you send them their scenario, they will podcast it, they will edit it, they will lay out, they will do all of it for you. All you gotta do is create it, they'll take it from there. There is the Miskatonic Playhouse podcast that is completely dedicated to running your content. So if you write it and publish it, you can send it to them. They will cast it, they will direct it, they will perform it, they will edit it, and then they will release it to the public. And they are amazing people for community support. There's also the Council of Shagas, which is the organizing body of the Miskatonic Repository Con, which, if you're not aware, will be coming back this year in October. It is an online convention of nothing but Miskatonic repository content. So you can play test, you can gain feedback. There are panels. We have Mike Mason, Oscar Rios to stop by, the Storytelling Collective, all of this support and all of this celebration for you to be self-published. So if you have questions about the program, feel free to email me, reach out to any of the communities I just told you about, and you can dive in from there. Oh, the other one I forgot, Heinrich Moore Presents. He was actually featured on the Miskatonic University podcast. We did his character creation guide. He has a YouTube channel that is dedicated to Miskatonic repository content, marketing, how to price your content, stuff like that. So definitely check him out. So before we get into the game, there are 2 quick announcements. One, Symphony Entertainment has a Patreon. So if you like this content, if you like what we do, please consider backing us on Patreon. We'd really appreciate it if it's in your heart and your budget. Help a sister out. It helps us make more content like this. We have free books. All of my backers received a free copy of Pirate Borg at one point. We have postcards. We have voting privileges. We even have an opportunity for you to rewrite the content on the front end, and I'll introduce your story, your concept, your NPC during stream. So if you would like to back us, you can join that at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. We are also hosting a giveaway tonight. So Keeper Doc is giving away a free PDF copy of tonight's scenario, Swamp Song. Are you? You are doing it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
Woo. I was like, did I actually ask him before I wrote this copy? It's me.
I said I'd give you a physical copy.
Oh, well, me. Wow. I wish I would have remembered that. This is, God, y'all just send thoughts and
It's
prayers.
easy to forget my generosity.
Oh, wow. You're coming out swinging already? This is going to be such a good game. Doc is giving out a free PDF and a physical copy of Swamp Song. So to enter, you do have to be a follower of the channel. You're going to enter Bang Song. So !song, S-O-N-G, for a chance to enter. We will do the drawing at the end of the show. If you can't stay until the end of the show, thank you for spending as much time with us as you did. I'll reach out to you in Twitch Messenger, Twitch Whispers, or whatever the hell the thing they're calling that, and then we can coordinate your physical address, your email address, and blah, blah, blah. Whew. So without further ado, let's talk about this cast. First and foremost, let us bring up Keeper Doc. Keeper Doc, please tell us who you are, what you do, where people can find you, what you're working on, what you're not working on, and then tell us about this this scenario that you have that blew through tears. You are already at Electrum. Print on demand is on the way. So introducing your Keeper Doc.
Hi, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you, Bridget. Thanks for my players. I'm super excited about this. So I'm Keeper Doc. I'm also Dave, but there's a lot of confusion about that. It turns out there's a lot of confusion about the number of docs out there too. I might have to come up with a new moniker, but I do some writing in Call of Cthulhu. This is my first Miskatonic repository scenario, Swamp Song. I also blog at prosperopublishing.com, talking about Call of Cthulhu and specifically Masks of Nyarlathotep. I wrote this scenario as a potential interlude between the Peru and New York chapters of Masks of Nyarlathotep, but it works really well as a one-shot. I've run it at cons and had a lot of fun with it. I play tested it as a one-shot as well. It's a lot of fun. I think New Orleans is a great place to play. We've got it a Miskatonic repository bundle with a lot of New Orleans scenarios, the Bayou Bundle. And then I've written some other stuff that's sitting somewhere in a locked vault. Yeah, Chaosium's got something that I wrote about 120,000 words with 4 scenarios in a very special city that I love in the Midwest. Maybe we'll see that someday. And then now that I've gotten out there and done my Miskatonic repository first time, I've got 3 scenarios that I'd like to get published. And I'm doing the Cthulhu Masters scenario for Origins and Gen Con for Lurking Fears in 2024. So I'll be writing that scenario as well. I think that's enough about me.
Oh my God, but it's so good and all of it drips. I'm overexcited. Chad is already making fun of me for being overexcited too. I hate you guys. Okay, let's unveil the rest of this cast. Cast members, tell us who you are, where people can find you, the things that you do, the things that you've done, the things that you're working on, starting with my husband, one of many, Keeper Dave.
Hey, Bridget.
Hi, baby.
Hey, John. Hey, Keeper Doc. So excited to be here today. Thank you so much for having me on my very first streaming experience. This is it. I'm walking out on the ice here and couldn't be with a better group. Very, very glad to be here today. Yeah, my name is Keeper Dave, Dave Sokolowski. You may know me from such great podcasts as Miskatonic University Podcast, where I am co-host with Bridget and Keeper Murph, and have made a lot of friends in that community. Met both Doc and John last year at Necronomicon, my first of that, and that was amazing. And I'm constantly thinking about how great that is. You may also know me from such self-help films. No, from such Call of Cthulhu scenarios as Sunspots, which was a Kickstarter of mine, and He Who Laughs Last, which was a Cthulhu Dark scenario. Coming up on 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah. I also wrote for them Masks of Nyarlathotep Companion and Secrets of the Caribbean. Sorry, not Secrets of the Caribbean. The Caribbean book, from Tales of the Caribbean from Golden Goblin Press, and Apoc Cthulhu. Written a bunch of different varying things, but my true love right now is Miskatonic University podcast. And so excited to be here. I have a handful of projects in the hopper, none of which are fully formed enough to talk about now, but maybe next time I'm on a stream, if it doesn't take 51 years or whatever to get here, I can have something else to talk about. But super glad to be here today.
Dave, this is why we're married.
There it is. There's sunspots. Yeah.
I'm trying to show it. It's blinding sun.
I know.
Damn, if I had thought about it, I would have brought mine up too.
Okay.
Thank you again so much, Keeper Dave, for being here, especially because, guys, this is Dave's first time streaming, and he was invited about
24 hours ago.
24 hours ago. It was a whole
Yeah.
situation. Maybe 40. It was less than 2 days. So thank you so much for making the adjustment to be here.
Oh, yeah.
The last time we had a situation like this, Bucho was like in bed, and we pulled him off of a couch into the stream. So thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Now you're not gonna be able to get rid of me. So,
baby, I would never want to get rid of you. I already told you I love you until you start doing accents, and then we fight.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Like married couples should. And last but totally not least, also totally first time to the stream, John, baby, tell us who you are, what you've done, what you're working on, what you plan on working on, where people can find you.
Well, after the previous introductions, I feel like I am indeed the weakest link.
You're not.
I do not have the bona fides of the previous members here, but I am the host of the Legends of Tabletop podcast. I am the doer of all things over there. In the beginning, we did a lot of interviews with a lot of people you would know,
Like
Oscar Rios and Bridget and a lot of other people. Mostly it's an actual play podcast at this point. Oscar has run a couple of campaigns for us. Currently, we have a Cthulhu Invictus. We have a Call of Cthulhu game that's a little bit more hit or miss. We have a lot of core material. I have published for Core Cthulhu, adjacent to this thing that we're doing today. I'm working now on version 3. It's going to be a full book, so it'll be instead of for use with Core, it will be powered by Core. So that's in the works. Hopefully at some point I'll be streaming on Symphony, maybe running a game in the future. That's a lot of stress and pressure. So maybe in the future.
This is your warm up.
Yeah.
Amazing. And you're talking about you don't have the bona fides, really? I don't have a whole book out, but whatever. Let alone be version 3 of a whole book. I also don't have my own
weak
podcast.
Link.
But whatever. I'm the weak. Whatever.
The bar is set high for this table.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the talent is amazing and chat is already on fire. Content warnings have been discussed with the cast and crew. The X card is in play. X's can be sent directly to Doc via private message or seen visibly. There will be no judgment passed. There will be no questions asked. We will also be using the green, yellow, red traffic light method if needed. And without further ado, I'm going to get the hell out of the way and let Keeper Doc tell this story. Babe, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Well, you all are going to help me tell this story. I'm very excited about it. Super great group of people. All right. So our scenario begins with a letter. Each of the players here will be receiving a letter in the mail in April. Will someone who received the letter be able to read it to us?
I'm glad to. April 4th, 1923. Dear friend, I am sending you this brief missive directly from my publisher's desk in New York. Just received the advanced copies of my latest book, and they are, if you'll excuse my hubris, quite spectacular. Many thanks for your insights and notes along the way. Please find a personal signed copy enclosed with this letter. Expect a harrowing tale to hit the market this summer, which brings me promptly to my next order of business. You must join me in New Orleans next month to attend an exclusive symposium entitled Death, Darkness, and Delights, Exploring Human Mortality. Trust, it shall be much less academic than it sounds. There will be artists, writers, historians, and, rumor has it, dancers. The woman organizing, Miss Irina Martin, operates a fascinating occult bookstore in the French Quarter. The funding patron, a dear friend, runs the finest restaurant in the city. He's generously offered accommodations for all of us, and he is most excited to meet you. You cannot refuse. Just listen to me shock them for a half hour, then spend the rest of the weekend sampling the finest cuisine and local libations. I'll telegram the address once I receive your anticipated affirmative reply. Yours truly, author.
And in this case, the author is none other than Jackson Elias. So a month passes. A month passes and you arrange for travel and arrive in New Orleans late in the afternoon. You find yourself standing outside the entrance of a lavish 2-story home on Esplanade. It's less than a mile northeast of the French Quarter, and you're waiting for someone to answer the door. The three of you have never met before, but perhaps you could tell us a little bit about yourselves as you make introductions while you wait for the wrought iron gate to open and allow you entry into this beautiful home. Mike, would you like to go first?
Yeah, so I am going to be playing, or I am playing, one Mike Shaw. This is a chatty individual who welcomes you both as soon as you approach, because he was probably there a little bit earlier than he should be. He looks to be maybe in his mid-30s with short cropped brown hair, but he's already starting to get the gray that's coming in on, like, the sides and the corners. He's a fairly good-looking man, but just looking over his physique, Mike is very strong, very well cut, and exceptionally intense athletic build. And it's accented by the fact that he's missing his index finger on his right hand. He has his sleeves rolled up. Maybe he's flexing, or maybe that's just what's most comfortable for him. But you can see scarring going down a right arm. You can see it looks like he has maybe some burns, or maybe some really heavy abrasions going down his left. He has multiple scars around his neck and his face that kind of indicates that whatever he does for a living, one, he probably really enjoys it, and two, it comes with a certain degree of risk or danger. And the second he sees either of you approach, it's like, oh, hi, good afternoon. You got the letter as well? Is this not really exciting? Death, Darkness, and Delight? That's actually a really charming name. Hi, my name is Mike Shaw.
Yep.
Go ahead, John.
I'm muted. Jeez.
Go.
Hi. Yeah, it's Harry Stanton. How's it going? And approaching you is a fairly tall man, relatively athletically built, but utterly nondescript. Just short brown hair. He's wearing his fedora. All done up. Suit is rumpled, and he looks like he kind of just rolled out of bed. He's already smoking. Walks up, extends a hand. Goes into his pocket, pulls out a business card. He's, I'm Harry Stanton Investigations. Nice to meet you. Yeah, no, I got this letter. Are you familiar with Elias?
Yeah. We go back. We've done some work together, things of that nature. But no, and he's gonna look at the card. What's on the card? You said investigations of some sort?
Stanton Investigations. Yeah, I'm a private eye up in New York.
Well, welcome down to the bayou. It looks like you made a long trip as well. I'm coming in from Texas.
Oh yeah. I've never been down here before. It's nice. It kind of looks around. It's nice.
And with that, a taxi cab rolls up, and the door opens, and taking a long time emerges a man in a gray suit, and he's a little larger, a little rotund. He's got thick cropped gray hair, and takes his time to kind of get himself out and pay the taxi. Thank you, I appreciate that. Closes the door and turns. Already folks waiting up here. Fantastic. He slowly ganders up to hold out his hand. Tip Palmer. Such a pleasure to meet you both. I assume you're here for the symposium or author reading or something like that?
Yes, exactly so.
Excellent. I can imagine that you are perhaps a little bit awed by my presence. Please do not. No need to. I won't be providing autographs now, but in this case, it's good to meet you. And he extends his hand and kind of has a softer touch to his handshake. It's not a strong. It's a softer, more gentlemanly time from a longer time ago when things were different.
When Mike shakes your. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying, Harry's eyes flick over to Mike when he's like, "Oh no, autographs." So he's like, "Okay, whatever."
You literally beat me to that same point. Yeah, he's gonna shake his hand. He's gonna look over to Harry, like, "Do you know him? Should we know him? This is awkward."
No.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Kurt shake. Yep.
Yeah, it's a pleasure as well. Nice to meet you both. I presume we have not yet to see our friend, Mr. Elias. I presume you are here as well to see him.
And at that moment, the door opens.
Oh. Perfect
Standing
timing.
in the entryway is a butler. He introduces himself. Anton, at your service. I presume that you are the Count's guests, friends of Mr. Elias? Please come in. And as you come in, you're standing on the sidewalk. Gray, thick rain clouds are gathering overhead, and the wind is beginning to blow. You hear the shutters overhead slamming shut on the veranda, and fat raindrops begin to fall from the sky as Anton gestures for you to enter the Count's abode. Please come in.
Tip moves forward through the crowd as if in the crowd, the people like of course you're standing back to let him go first. Oh, I thank you, sir. You said your name was Anton. Oh, I have to say, and he's got a handkerchief. I have to say, a mint julep right about these times would do me great if you could find one of those for me. Thank you so much, my friends. I'm sure the thirsts are parched as well.
Yes, absolutely. We can prepare you a drink immediately. Your friends, what would they like to have? Please do come, sir.
Oh, mint juleps for them as well, of course. It's really here. There's one drink.
Well, and you are aware that Mr. Elias and the Count had arranged for drinks at 5:30, right? And that's in a half an hour. Is that okay? You don't want to?
I'm sure you have some place for us to rest until that time.
Oh, well, most certainly. I will give you a quick tour of the ground floor, and then I will take you to your quarters on the second floor, if that is acceptable. And once you're up in your rooms, we will have the juleps brought, and then 5:30 promptly, according to Mr. Elias, he spoke with me yesterday about this. We will meet in the parlor for absinthe.
I never tried that before.
Very well. That it should be very exciting. We have all the accoutrement necessary. Please come in. And he gestures. Go ahead, Harry.
I was just going to say, Harry takes one look up at the foreboding sky before taking his hat off and coming through that doesn't seem good.
Yeah, and you get as you take your hat off, you can feel raindrops hitting your head, and they're quite heavy. You step into the hall, and Anton, he places a hand on each of your shoulders as you walk through the door. You can see it's a beautiful home. Paintings and sculptures adorn the entrance hall. There's an ascending staircase. You see fine rugs on polished wooden floors. Just looking around, everything is immaculately kept. There is wonderful smells wafting out of the back of the house. And as you look towards the back of the house, beneath the staircase, each of you notices there's a statue of a nymph carved out of marble, and then placed below it is a kneeling satyr, one of those hooved creatures, and it's positioned in a most provocative way, directly in front of the nymph. It seems like it was done on purpose. Anton begins to give you a tour of the house. He takes you through the parlor and indicates this is where you will be having drinks later. He leads you down a hallway and shows you a closed door. This is the Count's personal study. I would recommend. He's not in there right now, but he keeps this room private for himself. The rest of the house is yours to enjoy, but please respect the Count's privacy. And then he takes you down the hallway past the kitchen. Give me a listen roll, everybody.
Oh, first roll of the game,
Love
guys.
to.
Hooray!
Ooh, that is a listen. Extreme success.
Why, yes.
Oh,
12 under 67.
Excellent.
I failed.
A lot of people have talked to me about my capacity for listening in my days, and the reflection is that I am, in fact, a good listener, whatever that may mean.
So, Mike, you're just taking in the tour, looking around. You're focusing on what Anton is saying to you as he leads you down the hallways. But Tip, as you pass by the kitchen, you hear something. You overhear the cook speaking with one of the women helping out in the kitchen, and you hear a complaint, grumbling. Anton, I know he's been getting into the Count's cognac again.
Oh.
And as they say this, you notice the Tip. You picked up on the aroma immediately, and you thought it was cognac. You would
on
Anton.
Anton's breath.
Yes, and just on his person in general.
Well, what is not a beverage but to be drunk during the day, if not at night as well. But I understand that there are professional boundaries. I will put it in my very extensive interior mental notebook.
And John, you catch this as well, but you also hear a very faint jingling noise coming from Anton's waist. And you can see as you look down to where that jingle is coming from, there are a number of keys hanging from a chain around his waist. He continues on the tour and leads you upstairs, up the grand staircase, into the hallway and shows you the guest rooms. Well, to your left, at the top of the stairs, this is going to be your friend Jackson's room. He's staying here. The door is closed. The remainder of the rooms down this hallway are yours. They're each the same, but feel free to pick one of your choosing that you prefer. The Count's quarters and the family's quarters are down this other hallway. And as he mentions that, you can hear the sound of jazz music spilling down from the family's quarters. It sounds like somebody is laughing and giggling down that hallway. Occasionally you'll hear like like something gets knocked over and then like a whoopee. And Anton makes sure that you all see your rooms, and he turns and looks at each of you. He's like, I will be back very promptly with those drinks. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Oh, Anton, just one quick inquiry. What are we looking at for anticipated attendance for tonight's event?
Oh, it's just going to be the three of you and Jackson and the Count. They should be here shortly, although I haven't seen them all day. I've been instructed not to let the young lady join you all this evening.
Oh, but she seems to be having such a good time. I was just going to say, I wouldn't mind joining whatever pre-festivities is taking place.
Oh, well, you must know that Germaine.
And as he talks, Tip reaches out and takes his hand. Anton, it's all right. It's all right. You do your job, I'll do mine.
And Anton kind of squeezes back. It's kind of like an understanding squeeze. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Of course. I'll be right back with those juleps. Please make yourself comfortable. And if I can do anything else, please let me know. And we'll be setting up for the beverages shortly.
Thank you, Anton.
Thank you. Do you guys have any preference for rooms up here? I assume they're probably all similar, maybe.
Mike is immediately going to look at Tip because he already knows some bullshit is coming. So he's just going to get out of the way out of it and wait for it.
Tip's looking down the hallway and trying to address. He'll probably pick the one. I have to say that with my sciatica, I just want to make sure that I'm the closest to the facilities here. And yes, that one right there. There's the water closet. I'll be taking this one just right across the hall. I appreciate you offering to someone of my stature the opportunity. I'm taking note of both of your attitudes. I think it's very helpful.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly what it is.
Oh,
and he'll kind of waddle down to whatever bedroom is closest to the WC.
And you open the door to your bedroom, and you can see it's nicely furnished. You've got a bed, a wardrobe, a desk. You can smell the sweet scent of magnolias in the air as you open the door. And the water closet across the hall is to your satisfaction upon your inspection. As you're walking up and down the hallway, the door to Jackson's room does not open. You can continue to hear
meaning that it's locked, or there's no one in there.
There's no one in there. No one comes out as you're walking down the hallway. You can still hear the sounds of excitement and sort of self-amusement going on down the hallway for where you presume Germaine's room is.
Okay.
It's hard for me not to be working like all of the time. So he's just generally taking in the surroundings and, just, made a note that Anton had the keys, which I guess, isn't entirely unreasonable if he's the guy who's sort of running the house for the count. But he's just sort of taking it all in.
Okay.
Harry, do you have a preference on rooms? I can literally sleep on anything.
Yeah, no, whichever one you want is fine by me. I'll take the other one.
Much obliged. And it's not haphazard as much as he genuinely doesn't care. So whatever door he approaches first, he's not looking at rooms to compare them. Whichever door he hits first is going to be the door that he's going to claim.
Okay. You all settle in, get your belongings placed on next to the bed and in the wardrobe, and Anton comes up. He's bearing a tray of 3 mint juleps. Your beverages, sir.
Thank you,
Mr. Palmer.
I presume I would not be so rambunctious as to presume the when these mints were pulled, but yes, just today. Anton, I have to say, I much appreciate your capacity for generosity in this situation. And he takes a drink.
Of course. And you notice that it took him a little bit longer than you would expect. And as you do that sniff of the mint julep, you catch another whiff of cognac.
Oh, yeah.
It's fresher.
Yeah, one for you, one for me. Under his breath, maybe to maybe the Mike and Harry, like, one for you, one for me. I understand.
We shall be ready to partake in another 15 minutes or so. If you want to join me downstairs, still waiting for the Count and Mr. Elias to present themselves.
You say you haven't seen them today.
No, in fact. The Count oftentimes will sleep at the restaurant.
The restaurant,
particularly,
okay. Yes.
Yes. He owns a restaurant down on Bienville, right off Bourbon Street. Finest restaurant in the city. I highly recommend it. It is not to be missed. He sometimes sleeps in the restaurant after a long night. I know they were going out last night. I just assumed that he maybe stayed over after checking on things. And your friend Jackson, I don't know, but the staff mentioned that his bed was unmade this morning.
Tip walks right over to Jackson's door and, Mr. Elias, your friends are here. Are you available by any chance?
You knock on the door and there's no answer.
I check the doorknob.
It's unlocked.
I poke my head in.
You look in the room and you can see that it's essentially looks undisturbed. There's a bag lying unpacked on the suitcase stand, and the bed is perfectly made. There's a wilting carnation that rests on a pillow near the Baroque headboard. There's a piece of paper that's lying on the desk next to the second-story window. That's the only thing that stands out to you in this room.
Well, it looks like he was here. At least his bag's here.
And you say he arrived yesterday?
Yes. He and the Count met up. They said that they were going to be going out for an evening of entertainment, and I expected him back last night, but he would made certain that we would be present and ready for receiving you at 5:30 with the absinthe ritual.
Well, it is not yet 5:30, and I do not mean to predispose anyone's motivation, so he may very well show up. And with that, Tip wanders out into the room to look out the window.
Okay. Anton, if I may beg your pardon, I need to depart to finish setting up downstairs. Is that acceptable? Is there anything I can do for you before I leave?
No, you're good. Go ahead, do what you got to do.
Jermaine, you said, is the Count's daughter?
That is correct. Miss Germain is the Count's daughter. A boisterous young lady.
Just my kind.
Oh, God.
So Anton takes his leave again, and you're standing by the window, and you can see that there's this piece of paper. It's laid out on the table. There's an envelope next to it, and you can now look at handout number 2.
All right. Going up now.
I presume that this is either where they were last night or are they going tonight? It does not have a date. Tomorrow night is the symposium, if I'm correct.
You are correct.
How very strange.
I presume you all are sort of gathered around this piece of paper near the window.
Yeah.
And Anton like kind of pokes his head back in and he's like, oh, forgot to mention, I'll ring the bell.
For
when we're ready for drinks. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind.
No, that's okay. He holds up the piece of paper. He says, "This extravaganza was this where they went last night?"
Well, I believe so. Miss Germain was quite put out about it. She really wanted to go. The Count forbade her from attending. In fact, I think he wasn't really inclined to go. He just didn't want his daughter to attend. Said something about scandalous nature of the performance or something like that. But she was quite angry.
Scandalous. Has he seen the fountain in the foyer?
Well, I cannot comment on the Count's decorating taste. He has a very fine eye.
It is behind closed doors, nonetheless.
Mike is going to excuse himself from that conversation. Gentlemen, he's just going to kind of like ease right around in his own discomfort from that one.
And he pops back out, and you can hear him going back down the stairs.
Well, Tip leaves the letter and kind of heads into the hallway and then turns around as if to address his constituency. Is anybody else there? Because he will talk if nobody's there. He'll still talk if nobody's there.
Yeah, if Mike left, I would still be in the room with you. So
and Mike's just in the hallway.
No, I'll move out into the Tip moves out into the hallway and turns around to address both of you. I have to say, I'm working hard not to take it personally that Mr. Elias is not here. But then again, something may be wrong. I wonder what the two of you are thinking about this situation.
I think Jackson is being Jackson. This isn't totally uncommon for him to get distracted with new, shiny, exciting things. I'm sure he'll be here at 5:30. And if not, we at least have the last known place that he visited.
Well, if he went out with the Count yesterday, they're, probably out on the town. Maybe they drank a little bit too much. I'm sure they'll be here at 5:30. No reason to think that anything is wrong.
Well, yeah, but I'm here. Well, no matter. I'm gonna go have a chat with meet this Ms. Germain. Would either or both of you care to join me? I was just gonna go knock on the door and introduce myself. Perhaps you'd have some insights into what was it, this jazz operetta that she was so forlorn to miss.
Mike looks agreeable to that idea. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, Harry shrugs.
She seems to be having a good time nonetheless. Perhaps
we have a few minutes.
Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to say hi. And with that, he totters down the hallway.
Or would you rather me head downstairs and keep Anton busy?
You of course may do whatever you wish. Do you think there's some sort of risk with Mr. Anton?
He seemed pretty insistent not to bother the family, and the Count doesn't want her out and about, it seems like. So maybe it'd be best to not have Anton find you down there. You know what I mean?
You have the kind of mind of the person that I like to have around me, sir. I have to say, I like the way you think. You see the bigger picture. Yeah, I think that's keeping Mr. Anton distracted while we ourselves disturb the family. I think that's a fine idea. Mr.
All
Sean,
right,
do you want to join me?
I appreciate the invite. Yes, I will.
See you downstairs.
The two of you go down the hallway, and as you get further down the hallway, you can see that there's a closed door at the end of the hall. It looks clearly it's the master or the Count's quarters, and then you see that the door is slightly ajar where all the music is spilling out of, and you can hear, it sounds like somebody is dancing in there. And as you open the door, you see a young lady, and she's holding a dress out in front of her with one hand, and she's got what looks like a champagne flute in the other hand, and she turns around and sees you both and kind of jumps back. She's like, "Oh man!" And what is your appearance score, Mike?
Mike is sitting at a 65.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh,
good. Yes.
And a slightly handsome fellow. Please come in.
Mm.
She looks eager to see Mike. A little bit startled by you. She has a glass of champagne in her hand, and she gestures to a tray on which there is champagne and glasses. The room is a mess. You can see there's like a record playing, and she's just got clothes scattered out everywhere, and bottles and glasses.
I just want to clarify, Keeper. This looks like her private chambers, right? This is a bedroom.
This is her bedroom, yes.
So the second she does the swoony eyes and the "oh, please come in," he is immediately going to put a hand out between him and the door frame that is going to lock Tip from breaching that door frame. And he is going to leave. It looks casual. It looks like he's just leaning up against the door. And he's like, "You must be Mr. Maine. Do you have a few moments to speak with us? We just had a couple of questions we wanted to introduce ourselves."
Please. Oh, do come in. Come in. It's so nice to meet Daddy's guests. You look like you're with a very important older person here. And what's your name?
Hand is still on the door. He is not letting Tip get past him. He's like,
Tip's not. It's you actually. At least Mike. You can tell that Tip isn't exactly sure what's happening, but now he recognizes. This young woman is not. It would make sense that she would not be up to date on the current political situation and be informed. Her father has kept her clearly separated from the halls of power and where things happen. So it's fine. It's fine. She doesn't quite know who I miss. My name is Tip Palmer. You may know me from the halls of the state. If you've ever had a chance to visit or have a chance to visit up, you come by, and we'd be glad to give you a tour of the state capital.
Baton Rouge?
Oui.
No, we.
So you're one of Daddy's older friends.
I will admit to being both one of your daddy's friends and a little bit older. And he kind of like looks between Mike and the girl.
Speaking of your father, he is going to attempt to correct the daddy language out of this conversation. I'm surprised chat isn't losing their minds with the daddy. Speaking of your father, have you seen or heard from him today?
Daddy?
Here we go.
Your father, yes.
Daddy? No, Daddy.
The Count.
Daddy was working at the restaurant, I assume. Daddy and Jackson went to that performance last night by that Tristan Torn. So handsome. Such a handsome artist. I really wanted to see it, and Daddy wouldn't let me go. He said it was for him and Mr. Jackson, and I was not allowed to go, and he made me stay home. So he's just been a real pest lately.
Your father?
Yes.
Understood.
And just to clarify, you haven't seen him or heard from him today?
Well, I don't see Daddy a lot of the times. He's very busy. And I personally wasn't looking to talk to Daddy today because he made me mad. Meanwhile, John, I'm sorry, Harry,
no, go ahead.
you go downstairs and you're walking into the parlor, and you can see that Anton's got his back to you. He's setting up an absinthe fountain. He's got the bottle already open. And as you walk in the room, you see that he's holding a glass in his hand, and you can tell very clearly that he's taking a sip out of it. And he senses your presence and just kind of like, and like turns around, and the glass and the absinthe goes up in the air. And he's like, oh, just making sure that the bottle was still good.
Oh yeah, of course. I didn't mean to startle you or nothing. Yeah, they were going to come down in a minute. I figured I'd come and check out the spread.
Well, yes, this is this bottle. The reason why I was checking is this was obtained by the Count from auction. It's a bottle that was previously owned by Mr. Toulouse-Lautrec, the painter. I'm sure you know. Was a real fan of absinthe, and the Count has been saving this for a special occasion. We wanted to make sure that it was the finest quality to present to your friends. But please do sit down. I apologize for my response to your presence.
No worries, no worries. He saunters over, he lights the cigarette, picks up the glasses. He's kind of like, I'm assuming he's sort of like throwing it in my direction.
Yeah, he starts wiping up the mess that he's made here, and we'll cut back to Tip and Mike. And Jermaine's like, aren't you guys supposed to be having drinks right now?
Oh yeah, we just heard the sound of enlightenment and amusement, and wanted to stop by and introduce ourselves.
Well, I thank you. I would be happy to join you for drinks.
Oh, I don't think that would be appropriate under the circumstances, but I do have one more question for you, and it's a very serious question, and I'm pretty sure you're the only one around here who is, how do you say, educated enough to know this. I know that you have indicated Mr. Torn's attractiveness, but can you tell me about this jazz operetta? Can you tell me, what do you know of it?
Well, the event was supposed to be very exclusive. This is what I understand. Mr. Torn he's a performance artist, a provocateur. He originally, I believe it was Berlin where he made his debut, but they invited him here after his recent string of performances in Mexico City. He was doing some research into some local scandal and was going to put on a jazz performance. Very immersive, a lot of audience engagement. I just wanted to be present and just perhaps be able to touch him. Mm-hmm. He's so handsome.
But do you happen to know where in fact this performance took place?
Oh no, it was very exclusive. There were only a handful of invitations given out to a very select crowd, and my understanding is that they were going to meet beforehand somewhere. Daddy wouldn't tell me where because he knew I was going to show up, and of course he wouldn't tell me where it was going to be. So I can't tell you, I'm afraid, but I bet it was really fun.
I bet. I'm sure that that they missed your participation. One might say that I myself am a performance artist as well, so I understand the need for the exclusivity. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Mr. Shaw, what are you doing later this evening?
And with that, Tip turns on they're not paying attention to him, so he's done.
You're not giving me attention, so you're not worth my type. He's going to release his hand from the door. And he is going to smile very politely at this young lady. He's going to ignore that question, push forward, and ask, I know you don't know the location of this event, but do you know anyone else who may have received an invitation?
Well, I know that lady that Daddy was fighting with, the one that's organizing this whole thing, Miss Martin. I know that she was invited. I know she was seeing Torn. I know that they had a little thing, but I'm pretty sure they broke up.
And you said Miss Martin, who's organizing this little get together.
The symposium. Yes. She owns a bookshop down on Bourbon Street. I'm pretty sure she was invited as well.
Jermaine, you have been so helpful. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for the audience. And as quickly as he can, he's going to shut that damn door.
and as you close the door in her face, she's like, "You're going to be here all weekend, right?"
I'm sure Symphony fans are super disappointed that I'm not playing a thirsty character this time. Sorry, guys. We're going to shut that door and try to go find Harry.
Yep. And you all make your way downstairs, and you see Harry is just relaxing with a cigarette as Anton is laying out the absinthe ritual for you. He's like, please join us. It appears that the Count and your friends still have yet to arrive. Would you like to proceed, or should we delay?
I pull out my pocket watch and check the time. See, is it just 5:30 right now?
It's actually a little bit after 5 because he was waiting for those two to come down from upstairs, and it appears it's about 5 minutes after 5:30 now.
Right on time.
Is does the cat usually come late to his own events?
The Count, he sticks to his own schedule. I cannot question his activities. Sometimes he's late, sometimes he's early, but it's always right on time.
I catch your meaning.
It's one of the things I appreciate about him.
But I do know that your friend, Mr. Elias, he was quite interested in being punctual for this event. He was quite clear about 5:30. His words, on the nose.
Well, we should hang out at least a little while. I want to follow Harry's tone to say that things just sometimes get delayed. I wouldn't mind having a drink now.
I would be happy to prepare you a glass of absinthe if you like.
Absolutely.
Are you familiar with absinthe? May I tell you a little bit about it?
Mike loves education. He's like leaning in on this one.
And he does this as he's preparing. He's got the fountain filled with ice water, and on it are more like nymphs and fey creatures sculpted in silver. Many of them are in scandalous poses, not unlike the one that you saw in the hallway. And he begins pouring the ice water over a glass of absinthe, and sitting atop the glass is a spoon with perforations and a single sugar cube. And as he does this, he's explaining what he's doing, and he tells you, and as you see, as you add the ice water with the sugar, it changes colors, and you can see it goes from being a perfect green, like an emerald green, to this opalescent hue, and it's beautiful. And he points this out to you, and he's like, and hands each of you a glass. He's like, please enjoy. This is very fine. This is from the Count's private reserve. Actually, do you mind if I have a glass myself? I don't. I mean, I would, in case they don't show up. We will have leftover. I mean, obviously, you can have as many glasses as you like, but
hey, it's not for us to say what you do on your own time. Go ahead.
I want to do a little bit of a read on Anton here. Is this how he always is, or is this a case of cat away, mouse play sort of thing? And
give me a psychology roll.
Oh, here we go.
I thought about thinking about it, but I thought better.
You don't want to push.
I looked at him and I was like, and then Harry, you said that, and I was like, you do you in a very anachronistic sort of way. I say, sir, you take care of your own devices the way you need to take care of them.
And Anton is just sort of nodding as you say this, as he's pouring himself a glass of absinthe. He stands. He doesn't have the audacity to sit. He stands as you all drink your absinthe. Time passes, and you each finish your glass. I don't know how eager you are each to drink it. It has a strong licorice flavor and scent to it. If you like it, he's willing to offer you a second glass.
Oh,
I have to say, this early in the day perhaps is not the right time for a second glass, but I'm nursing mine over here as we await. But now it seems like some time has passed. Mr. Shaw, Mr. Stanton, I have questions about this symposium that I was hoping that the Count and Mr. Elias would answer, but I feel like I'm waiting for answers to questions I am not quite sure what they are.
Well, it seems kind of odd that they'd invite us all the way down here and then not show up. It's a little strange.
Indeed, exactly what I was thinking. Mr. Shaw, what is your take of the situation?
I try not to jump to conclusions. but I have to admit to feeling a certain degree of concern at this point. Jackson is prone to distractions, but he tries to be prompt, and he would never be disrespectful to his friends. If he's not here, I'm starting to harbor concerns that there may be a reason why.
Anton, did Jackson seem like he was maybe out of sorts when he was here? Did you talk to him at all before yesterday?
Seemed perfectly fine to me. He received his invitation, and I didn't look at it, but he and Count discussed it, and I think they were going to return today to meet with you and look at a book, perhaps. I don't really know the details, but no, he didn't seem abnormal. He was very businesslike, very serious man.
Do you know where he was going to go look at this book?
Oh, the book is in the Count's study.
Oh, it's here.
That's the room you told us not to enter, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Had a regular success on a psychology to see if he's telling the truth.
Oh.
He is telling the truth.
Okay.
What you gather is Anton is a little drunk. He's a little bit loose. And he's definitely he's definitely taking some liberties. But he's not lying to you.
From another glass. You know, it seems to you. When was the last time you had some of this absinthe? Perhaps you need to take advantage of the situation.
You are an esteemed guest of the Count. I think it would be wrong of me to refuse.
Exactly. You understand how these rules situations are run.
Yes, and he pours himself another glass. He doesn't bother with the sugar and the ice water. He just goes straight out of the bottle.
Shots.
Yeah. I'm living. I'm living. Anton, is Miss Martin supposed to be in attendance tonight?
Oh, no.
She was just the organizer, not actually an attendee.
No, she and the Count have had a bit of a kerfuffle.
I love that word, by the way.
Yes. I think that was some of the controversy, perhaps, around the book. The Count had come home and had made some sharp remarks about her. Pressing woman. They were going to try to be as professional about organizing this event as possible, but yes, there was a bit of a falling out.
That's unfortunate. Anton, I'm going to ask you something that is potentially going to make you uncomfortable, but I need you to know that it's coming from a place of sincerity and concern. We really need to get into that office.
He pours himself another drink as you're telling him that he's going to have to answer an uncomfortable question. I'm sorry, why? I would be in a great deal of trouble if I let you into the Count's private.
Oh, well, we're not asking you to allow us into there.
We're just asking that you don't impede us. And again, this is coming from a place of concern. You can sit right here with that bottle.
Oh, well, I can sit here with this bottle.
You can.
This is very fine.
As he stands, he's like, Harry, Tip, if you'll please join me over to the left.
Yeah, of course.
Anton's going to make a constitution check to see how he's faring against the absinthe. This is very strong absinthe, and he fails.
Good for him.
He starts talking to you about the amazing, beautiful fairies that are on the absinthe fountain, and he's asking you if you think you see them moving? They're flitting about the room. It's incredible. Are you seeing this?
The Tip engages and pours himself another drink and just kind of like gives a side gesture to Mike and Harry and like, oh yes, these flowers are just incredible beyond. It's one of my favorite parts of New Orleans. And he kind of gestures, and he also kind of gives a side eye to the keys that are dangling off of his pants belt, whatever.
I will try to swipe said keys.
Here we go. That's the shit I'm talking about, John. Go get them, baby.
All right.
Is it
Can I
gonna be
use my fast
stealth?
talk to distract him completely?
Oh yeah. Yeah, give me a fast talk roll, and if you succeed, then Harry's going to get a bonus die. For
There,
his
now we're talking.
key
We're working
scenario.
as a team.
Us. Team
up.
us. Yes.
Ooh. All right, I got a regular success.
Nice. All right, bonus die for Harry.
All right, here we go.
Well,
Let's see. That is going to be a 47 under 57 for stealth.
So Anton, he's like you're engaging him in conversation, and he starts you're sitting on a long sofa, and he starts leaning towards you, and as he does so, his jacket slides up, exposing the keys quite nicely, and he's almost laid out on the sofa, like talking to you, and like
at some point
I
point at the flower that's like at the other side of him. I'm saying, can you, when you touch that flower, is that the whole flower? And he's like, yeah, but it's it. And he kind of leans
he's like
way out,
reaching
and you just like
bodily
reach
over
right
you
in
to
and
touch
yoink.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Just kind of lean in. And, whoop.
yep. And the keys just slide off, like he's right off the belt.
Way to go, team. That was hot.
And then I
I'll keep
step
Anton
away
occupied.
And, yeah.
I'm good at
eyes
talking
over
about nothing.
Mike.
Mike meets your gaze. He almost gives you like a head drop in deference, and he is heading off to that office.
Okay.
I take a little bit longer, just like a sort of a slow stroll. Like I'll walk over, kind of put my glass down, maybe light another cigarette, and then, kind of wander.
And you meet Mike at the door, and you take a couple tries to find exactly the right key, because there are several keys on this chain, this ring here, and you open the door. It's a really nice heavy wood door, and it opens into a windowless room. It's very spartanly furnished, but everything is exquisite taste. There are a collection of French artworks, paintings on the wall. There's a wide mahogany table that's littered with some drawings and sketches, and then in the corner of the room, there's a large glass bookcase, glass enclosed bookshelf.
All right. I guess first things first, kind of wander over to the desk, see if the book is on the desk. If they were going to come back and get it, I assume maybe it's already pulled. See if there's any note as to, what they may have been doing last night, other than, potentially this event that they went to.
Right. You do find a copy of the invitation out on the desk. In addition, you see what you recognize is what look like architectural sketches and blueprints. It looks like for a nightclub. And then you can see that the Count's restaurant is on there. And then there's another restaurant that's labeled. It's got the title for that is Absinthe House Speakeasy. And then you can see that each of these structures is connected on these drawings by passages that look to be kind of dashed lines. It looks like they're leading from each building, not on the street, but around or underneath the street.
Oh, wow.
As you're moving these drawings around just to get a look, give me a sanity check.
Uh-oh.
Oh, first sand check of the game. Here we go. That was abrupt, too.
Ooh, 28 under 60.
Okay. So you move one of the technical drawings out of the way, and you find that there's a really like rough sketch of something reaching out of the darkness in what looks like a tunnel. And Harry, this is just, you can't really make out what it is. It just looks kind of like a decent drawing, but it doesn't really excite you in any way, and you kind of just push it to the side. But the figure that's depicted here, it looks like it has relatively long limbs, and it looks like the passage that it's in is underwater, or like partially underwater.
So I think he holds it up for Mike, and he says, maybe this is part of the thing that's going on tomorrow.
Really, John?
Mike,
You just going to hold up the sand for me, too?
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, take a look. Give me a sanity
This is
check.
weird. This shouldn't be here.
So Mike
What
was
is this
looking
about?
at the glass bookshelf, and he's like, "Huh?" And he turns around and face plants right into that bullshit that John just teed up for him.
Yep. Give me a sanity check.
I'm on my way, babe. Oh shit! I wrote an 85. I don't even need to look at my power. I already know that's a fail. It is.
Yep. That'll be D3 sanity. As you look at this thing, and it brings you back to the tunnels beneath South America as you see this long-limbed, shadowy figure with claws reaching out from the darkness. It just reminds you of terrible places that you've been before, and it's upsetting. But you're looking at and you quickly look back to the bookshelves.
It's like, he's gonna nope. He lost a max on that one, by the way. I wrote a fucking 6. So yeah, with 3 points alive, I think he's gonna like just go very cold and go very dark for a moment. There's obviously some type of recognition there, like he either recognizes that creature or that location, or it reminds him of something on like a really visceral level that's very upsetting. You can see his pupils dilate. You can see he gets very cold. He gets very calm. And then he just immediately turns around without saying anything. He's going to go back to that glass bookshelf without saying a word about it.
Hey, you okay? It's just it's one of those spooky drawings for this thing.
And his shoulders and his back is to it's to Harry, and he just doesn't say a word. And that's very not Mike. Mike has been very chipper, upbeat, accommodating. He's just going to start scrolling through this bookcase. He'll open him up if he can and start looking around.
Yeah, the glass bookshelves open up, and you can see inside it looks like a number of like anatomy textbooks. Some of them are cooking textbooks, but a lot of like medical texts, which is a little odd. The Count owns a restaurant. And you notice the oldest one and largest one on the shelf is one entitled something in French. It looks like it says Anatomie Empirée, l'anatomie empirée is what it reads in French. But does Mike know French?
He doesn't, but he's definitely going to finally speak after he settles down. Harry, do you speak French by any chance?
Yeah, no, I don't speak any other languages.
It's interesting looking at the bookshelf here. So to the left, these are all anatomy books from what I can tell. The books here in the center are cooking books, which makes sense. He owns a restaurant. But then the books here, and then shit, Doc, what was it? It was anatomy. Whatever it is, had me immediately thinking fucking cannibalism. It was anatomy, cooking, and what?
Yep, anatomy and cooking and medical and medical.
And then
texts.
medical. He said, and then all of these almost look like medical journals or medical books. It's an interesting combination of literature.
Yeah, that's a weird juxtaposition to have all those books together, huh?
And Shaw has traveled the world. Cannibalism will not be the first time. Encountering cannibalism will not be his first time in this moment, but he is not going to connect that that's actually happening right now. We're just going to leave that alone. I wonder if Tip speaks. Do you know who he is by any chance, or what the hell he does, or what makes him so pretentious? Do you know who he is?
I don't. He's a pompous ass. I know that.
Oh my goodness, he's insufferable. I just don't know who he is, and I don't have the bandwidth to ask him. Okay, I'm gonna open that book and just do a quick flip through the French one.
Okay. So you open this book and just random page.
Yeah, I'm good with a random page, a nice flip through, and then of course you always want to do the front and back covers.
Yep. So you open it up and like kind of do a quick flip through. It looks like there's a lot of writing at the beginning, and then as you get to the center, there or more towards the middle of the book, there are illustrations in this book.
Oh God!
There it is.
Right.
I'm looking over your shoulder.
Read from the book.
These illustrations depict things that you've been around the world. You've seen all sorts of things. These don't resemble anything that you've ever seen on Earth. It's something terrible. All of them. One actually, in fact, resembles the thing that was reaching out of the darkness on the sketch. It's this long-limbed creature, but it's been eviscerated and it's opened up, and whatever. Are they organs? You can't really tell. Nothing looks like normal human anatomy. You turn the page, there's a large bat-winged thing that's been opened up, and its head has been removed. And these are all just sketches, but they're very lifelike renderings. So much so that you're just absolutely floored by how strange and horrible all these things are. For looking at this, you're going to each lose 1d8 sanity.
Oh, shit.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Nice. Now we're talking. All right, here, folks, we are 1 hour in, and we are playing Call of Cthulhu.
We are playing Call of Cthulhu is playing us at this point.
Right? This isn't your game. This is Doc's game.
Holy shit, that looks like that thing in the paper.
Shaw doesn't comment because Shaw lost a full 8 on that one.
Oh,
let's go, baby. Let's rock. Not only is that a potential bout, I am for sure past my 20%.
I gotta say, things downstairs, we're just having drinks and having a nice conversation. I don't know what you're getting all excited about up there. There's so much noise up there. I wonder what's happening. There's a lot of shouting and screaming.
Oh, all right. Talk to me, Doc.
All right. How's that check for the bout of madness?
Yeah. I was so stunned. I lost it. A 94. Look at the God we serve. He failed that int check.
All right. How does this look for you? I mean, you passed the threshold for indefinite insanity, yes?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll give you a moment to think about what that looks like for Mike.
And then may I ask you a question just out of curiosity, if you're giving me...
Sure.
Can I hype up the Bout of Madness Miskatonic repository playing cards and actually pull something from this?
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Amazing. I'll be back when you're back ready for me.
Okay. Harry, what happens to you?
I only lost 2.
Okay, good.
So he's surprised. He recognizes that thing and like, oh, what are these other weird things? Like, this is not good.
Good. So you you were coming up over the shoulder. She had already flipped through, or Mike had already flipped through a decent amount by the time you got there. Perhaps it was something that Mike did or said that drew you over, and you caught a glimpse before the book slammed shut, perhaps.
Yeah.
From the Miskatonic repository Bouts of Madness deck, he pulled Hightail It, Run for Your Life. For 1d10 rounds, the investigator flees the scene in an attempt to move as far away from the trigger for the bout of madness as possible. So with an 8 loss, but the failed intelligence check, Doc, feel free if you don't like my interpretation, but for him, that hand, that hyperextended, shattery, eviscerated hand feels like it's reaching off of the page to him. It's immediately transporting him back to those tunnels that he was in South America, and he's gonna bolt. I think tears are gonna start running down his face involuntarily, and he's gonna bolt. He's gonna move past Harry. He's gonna bolt to the door, and he is heading directly back to Tip and Anton.
Okay.
For 1 round.
Okay, so that's long enough to get you out the door, drop the book, past Harry, down the hall.
Oh, Mr. Shaw, we were just about to pour a new round of drinks. Kid, oh my gosh, sir, are you doing okay?
And he's gonna reach for the
sir,
bottle.
before, no, yes, take the whole bottle. Anton, why don't you? Oh, looks like Anton's falling asleep. Good enough.
His head is on your lap.
Kind of moves him aside, puts his jacket up. Mr. Shaw, no, have a seat. Not just that. Here, have a glass of water. There's still some ice left over here. Are you okay?
There's something in the books.
Oh,
I don't know what he was into, but there's something in the... There are tunnels, and there's something... You should go talk to Harry.
Well,
I'm going to calm down. I'll sit with Anton, and you should go speak with Harry.
All right. Yes. You take care of yourself. I'll go have a conversation with Mr. Stanton. You take a deep breath. I'll be right back.
He's going to slide into the position where Anton's head is now on his lap.
I just lift Anton up and I get out. And
I'll slide right in. Like we're switching out like parents with a sleeping kid.
Right.
And Harry, how do you respond to Mike just bolting out of the room?
I think he's shocked. I don't think he says anything right away. Like, Mike kind of like stiffens up, the book slams to the floor and he just runs. He's like, what the? and he bends down. He doesn't open the book back up because that's a really weird reaction. So like I caught a glimpse of some of the stuff that was in there. I think he puts it on the edge of the table, on the edge of the desk, and then we'll give the room a good once over. See if the desk is unlocked. He'll open up a couple of the drawers. Like, this is a weird kind of book for someone to have. Harry is somewhat familiar with stuff from past experiences. Like, he knows that there are beings and creatures that are outside of normal human expectation. Mm-hmm. So he's not like totally put out by it. But it's disconcerting that, the Count would have access to this information. Right? It's not something that most people would normally know about. So he'll check the desk. He'll also go back through the books again and see if there's anything that stands out. In a previous adventure, they found a collection of occult/mythos books to see if anything sort of sticks out.
Okay.
And from the door comes, anything sticking out? You find anything of interest?
Yeah, and Mike took off. Is he okay?
I don't know. He seems to have. I'm not sure exactly what happened. He sent me back up here to talk to you. Kind of looks around the room.
Yeah, there's a weird selection of books up here, and he kind of like nudges the one on the table like out of your line of view. Yeah, Mike saw something that spooked him a little bit. But I did find these.
It didn't spook you?
No, not so much. It was a little unsettling, but I've seen a couple of things. That's not really important, but there's some tunnels through a couple of these buildings here. Looks like maybe old smuggling tunnels.
All right.
I don't know. Maybe Jackson and the Count decided to go for a little looky-loo.
I mean, I know the Count to be an adventurous man, and certainly tunnels are well within Mr. Lass's purview, but it seems extreme for a Wednesday night.
Just briefly breaking in, as you guys are having this conversation, Harry's like rifling through drawers and looking on the bookshelf. The bookshelf there's nothing else that really stands out to you. The rest of it looks pretty mundane as far as like medical and cooking and anatomy textbooks go. Nothing that looks like mythos related. You pull open the the desk, and there is a bill of sale from the Petite Arcane, La Petite Arcane, which is a bookstore on Bourbon Street. The signature is Irina Martin on the bottom.
I was going to ask that specific question.
And the book in question that was sold was the Anatomy Empirée for $500.
Wow. In 1920s? Jesus.
That's quite a hefty sum.
You ain't lie. Woof.
I show the bill of lading to Tip.
Well, all right. I think we need to go give Miss Martin a visit. Perhaps her shop is open late.
Yeah, if she was at the event yesterday, she might have some insight as to where Jackson and the Count might be.
Ideally, yes. Perhaps our friend Mr. Shaw has recovered.
Yeah, let's hope so. And I reshelved the book where I think that it came from because I didn't see Mike pull it off the shelf. But if there's an obvious gap, he'll put it back. Relock the desk if it was unlocked by the key. Set everything back the way that it should have been. Yeah. This is not my first time breaking into something, going through somebody's desk.
I think Tip can appreciate that. You collect Mike. Anton seems to have reassembled himself. I think Mike's crying and perhaps the petting of Anton.
Sobbing and petting woke him up.
There was petting. There was definitely petting. He probably slipped into a lullaby at some point.
Anton is standing at the ready as you walk into the room, and he says, May I? It appears that your friends are not coming. May I arrange any transport for you this evening?
Yes, Anton. Good to see you again. I'm glad to see you up and running again.
Oh, you can't keep me down.
Yes. Indeed. Le Petit Arcane, I believe, is the name of a bookshop, local bookshop.
Bourbon Street. Yes, just down the street from Bienville, right by the Count's.
Bienville being the Count's restaurant.
Yep, right off of Bourbon, Bienville. Yes.
Right. Yeah, we a taxi to take us there, and he looks to his associates. Unless you have any other additional destinations that you want to add to the itinerary.
I think that's the best place to start.
That sounds good. Where are we going?
You'll be fine. You'll be fine, Mr. Shaw. We'll take you there.
It's a bookshop. Just don't check anything out.
Oh, I've had my fill of books for tonight. Thank you.
Your taxi arrives and takes you down to Bourbon Street, which is just a little bit over a mile away. You pull up outside. As you're driving towards the bookshop and Bourbon Street, the rain is starting to fall, and it's beginning to come down fairly heavily. You're able to get to Bourbon without any difficulty, but it looks like it's not going to let up. It's a pretty heavy storm that's developing here. And you pull up outside the bookstore, and as you get out of the taxi, you can see that there's a sign on the door.
I'm good at reading. What does it say?
It says dinner at the Count's, drinks on the house.
That's not true. We just came from the Count's house.
Oh, no. It's probably the restaurant.
She's so petty.
Right.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, otherwise she is petty as hell.
I believe this is a misdirection. No, but I believe you are all right, Mr. Stanton.
I mean, because it was only supposed to be the three of us and Jackson and the Count, so it makes sense that it'd be the restaurant, right?
One more point of clarification. Read that note to us one more time, Doc.
Drinks at the Count's, or dinner at the Count's, drinks on the house. And the Count's restaurant is literally like you take a few steps down the street and take a right, and it's just around the corner.
I do put my head up. I believe it's raining, so I'm sheltering my eyes. I just put my head up to the window and look into the bookstore. Is there any sign of life?
You can see that there's a light on in what looks like a back room, but you don't see anyone in the bookstore. You can see bookshelves and they're like tchotchkes and knickknacks and various occult items, but you do not see anyone in the store.
I use my ring to tack loudly on the glass. Tack, 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 tack.
That is so tip. That looks like tip. That feels like a tip move.
It is a tip move. No response.
All right, Mr. Stanton, I turn over the direction of our next steps to you.
Oh, yeah, I think Anton said that the restaurant was right over this way. And, lead off down the street towards the restaurant.
Okay. And since you're not taking a cab, you're getting pretty wet. Unless you brought
of course,
umbrellas.
I grabbed it. I'm very accustomed. I grabbed the umbrella, and sadly, though, there's only room for one person underneath it, and that one person would be me. I must say, I'm a little bit disappointed to see that you've not prepared yourselves fully, Mr. Shaw and Stanton, for this rain. I wish there were more room underneath this umbrella.
Tip's perfectly coiffed mane of like campaign cut hair is preserved by the umbrella, whereas the rest of you all get soaked as you walk around the corner to the Count's spot. So the restaurant is literally just steps away, and you can smell the Creole spices drifting through the windows as you pull up front. There's rain running off of the French flag that hangs over the entrance. As you walk in the door, a maitre d' materializes and says, I'm terribly sorry. Unless you have reservations, we do not have any tables this evening.
I step up.
I figured.
Good sir. Tip Palmer. Senator Palmer, that's to you. We are actually guests of the Count, and we have been pointed in this direction to find his acquaintance. Is the Count here tonight? You are, of course, familiar that he had house guests in town this week, and that is us. And he gestures to my companions and I are a little pecked in this moment in our search for the Count. We are worried about him, but perhaps this might be an appropriate place to stay while we wait for his arrival.
Sir, I do not concern myself with the Count's personal matters at his home. I am here for my job, which is to seat guests at the Count's restaurant. I understand your desire to eat. If you are indeed guests of the Count, you could see if there's a seat available at the private party in the back room. I'm afraid the Count has not yet appeared for his dinner with Miss Martine, but she appears to have invited a number of friends.
Perfect. That was going to be my next question. He takes a $5 bill and stuffs it in his suit pocket.
And he kind of like fastidiously like rearranges it and straightens it out and pushes it down in the pocket.
Please lead the way.
Oop, that was hot.
He sort of like raises an eyebrow in annoyance and then takes you through the restaurant, and there's a room near the back, and you can see as he walks you through the restaurant there's wait staff bringing trays of food and drinks to this room, and you walk into the room. He stands at the door and kind of shoots you an eyebrow as you walk into the room, and in the room is a woman sitting at a table surrounded by food and a number of what looks like strange, weird, oddballs, academic types, and she's just holding court. She's just talking. They're sitting there in rapt attention and drinking and eating food as she's going on. It's like, yes, I am eager for the symposium to take place. I have the finest occult bookstore in all of America, and I think this is the best way to get the word out. Not only that, but it's an incredibly successful business. I have started mail ordering herbs, spices, spell components, aphrodisiacs. It has been quite a successful business venture for me. So I'm so glad that all of you could attend. And this is sort of the type of conversation that you're walking into. And the woman herself, she's very beautiful. She's got auburn hair. She's wearing a choker with a red jewel on her neck, and she's got bright red lipstick that matches the jewel as she sort of like gestures to the people around the table, and she speaks with a very pronounced French accent that I'm not going to subject anyone to.
I gotta go. Sorry, Dave. I forgot that I've got to go. So is she at the middle of a table, or?
Yep, she's sitting at the middle of this table and just surrounded by just people that are clearly symposium attendees by the looks of them.
I'll wait to a break, and I'll stride up and with my best social grace, Ms. Martine, Senator Tip Palmer here at your service. I have to say, my friends and I are attendees of the symposium as well, and friends of the Arthur Jackson Elias. And I have to say that we have found you through the course of fate, and it is my deep pleasure. And with that, he takes her hand and kisses it, to meet your acquaintance finally. And these are my friends, Mr. Shaw and Mr. Stant.
She receives your gesture warmly, but still seems she draws her hand away as quickly as possible.
It's not slimy.
It's not slimy. No, you are, honey. It's not your hand. It's your personality. Yeah. There's a difference.
I didn't. Yeah.
It's like, so guests of the Count, you wouldn't happen to know where he is, would you?
We were hoping that maybe you could tell us. Doesn't seem like he's been around since yesterday. Did you see him?
He and I have not spoken in several days. This was supposed to be a dinner between us to clear the air. We've had a disagreement. I sold him a rare book. I wish to buy it back.
I give Mr. Shaw an eyes.
Mr. Shaw is straight ahead because that book.
I wish to buy it back, and the Count was not willing to part with it, and I offered a significant sum of money. At this point, I would trade just about anything for it.
Why? And all of that incredulity is right there on the front of his face, because he is not Mr. Social Navigator. He's just a navigator.
It's a disturbing oddity to the uninitiated, but it can, for those of us that study the arcane arts, it contains something quite powerful within it, something quite useful for someone in my line of work.
Any additional specificity that you'd like to add?
She pauses to like build the suspense, and because she's got the attention of the whole table, and she kind of looks around, makes sure that everybody's paying attention to her. She's like, it contains, well, a spell. I know some of you don't believe in such things, but a spell to reverse the most terrible curses and possessions. Yes. I need that for myself. In fact, it was rumored that the famed Marie Laveau used the same spell to handle a local tragedy.
Do you have a curse that you need undone?
Well, I mean,
not to be frank,
for a fee, I would be willing to undo any curses. Just building my my repertoire of services that I
yes, a tool set. I
understand. Yes,
absolutely. No,
are you a businessman?
In some ways, I definitely am. I have to say, unfortunately, we missed the performance last night. Tristan Torn's jazz operetta. How was that?
Torn. I did not go.
Oh,
he invited me.
Well, I would hope so. I believe. Well, go on.
Oop.
Yes, Torn, he manipulative egomaniac, willing to do anything for attention, really. Yes, he insistently was pleading for me to come witness his grand spectacle, the finale, this thing that he had put together. I let her use the local archives. He was very interested in some sort of some event that happened in the swamps here a few years back. He wanted to use one of the crypts as a venue for his performance. And I have a collection of crypt keys. Again, my store. I did inherit a robust collection of local crypt keys. And he talked me into borrowing one. It was a huge mistake. Should never have done it. I got him back, the keys back earlier this week, but I'll never make that mistake again. The man he's terrible.
What happened?
He'll do anything for his reputation.
Well, I have to say that if that includes betraying a lovely woman such as yourself, that it doesn't seem like it's very honorable.
Oh no, most dishonorable. And honestly, everybody talks about how attractive and brilliant he is, but I think he's just, he's a shock artist, hack, and a liar, and a terrible lover. I mean, sorry.
Well, that rumor was just confirmed.
Harry's eyebrow goes up.
Sorry, I've had a bit much champagne and wine to drink this evening.
Yes, of course. May I ask, the performance last night was at the crypt. Is that true?
I do not know. I do know that they were going to meet at the Absinthe House. It said so on the invitation that he sent me beforehand.
Well,
do you know which crypt it was?
I believe it was the Fauché crypt.
Oh,
in the
shit.
would you be willing to let us maybe borrow that key? It's starting to become a little concerning that the Count and our friend Mr. Elias haven't shown up in a couple of days, and if this event was supposed to have taken place there, perhaps maybe something untoward has happened.
I learned my lesson. I'm not just handing out my crypt keys to anyone anymore.
I pull out my wallet and I produce my business card with my ID. Yeah, Harry Stanton. I'm a private investigator from up in New York.
Well, I will be sure to let you know if I have anything that needs investigating in New York, Mr. Stanton. That is very generous of you.
I must take this moment to ask, and with this, we're obviously, our conversation is the center of the table and everyone's paying attention to. Did anyone here tonight see this performance that was last night?
Great question, Dave.
That is a great question. And
Harry just has a shocked look on his face right now.
So the table has been raptly listening to this conversation taking place, and then a bunch of people speak up all at once in answer to your question. And it turns out you learn a couple things. One, Torn's invitation included high-profile artists, writers, and then a bunch of socialites that had the cash that he was hoping to draw in. But no one here was able to attend the performance. No one else received an invitation. They had heard that it was going to be most depraved and sensational. While none of them were able to attend, some of them did hear strange singing and chanting from what they presumed were Torn's audience members as they walked through the street of the French Quarter last night. They didn't see them, but they heard the echoes of strange songs, and they never returned to socialize. Finally, one person speaks up and says, "Well, I heard they went off to play in the swamps with Cajun bootleggers after the show."
That's the favorite way of my spending Tuesday nights.
Cajun bootleggers.
And Miss Martin she allows this interruption, and like, I don't know what to tell you. Now, if you could do me a favor, I might be able to lend you the key.
I suppose it depends on the favor.
I am but your honorable servant.
Well, if there was any way you could convince the Count, if you were to find him, to surrender his book to me, I would be most grateful, and I would certainly be happy to show my gratitude by lending you one of those keys.
I'm sure we could talk to the Count. That is presuming that we can find him, of course.
Smash cut to Harry Stanton breaking into the bookstore.
Crowbar.
I'm only half kidding.
And
then it appears that her attention has drifted away from you, and she begins.
Miss Martin, one more thing, just one more.
She had already started talking about her herbal farming methods, and she looks back to you and she says, "Yes."
There was a depiction of a hand in that book. Elongated finger, shadow, dark. Do you know what that is?
A pretty vague description, Mr. Shaw. Was that it?
You've seen the book, though, correct? So you should know what I'm referring to, which is he's coming off rude, which, again, is not how he typically responds.
To be honest, I didn't find the pictures too interesting. I was more concerned with the text within. Unfortunately, I didn't spend a lot of time perusing it before the Count took it off my hands, and I later learned the importance of it. But there are local legends of these sorts of creatures that you describe. I actually have a wonderful book at my store that you might be interested in. You should stop by. It describes such things and the nature of these legends and lore. And I think I'd be happy to sell you a copy. We have plenty well stocked. Great for tourists.
Smash cut to Mr. Stanton breaking into the bookstore.
Into the bookstore. How about you start with the name of whatever this creature is, and I'll take that under consideration.
Oh, they have no name. They just call them the Fauchés.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, he's going back home to Texas. Okay.
And then at that point, she kind of looks away and begins pontificating about her business and occult matters.
Actively ignoring. Yep.
The three of us find ourselves across the room in a corner.
Yeah.
Out of the rain. Yeah, in the building.
You've got all the cold food and half empty glasses like pushed over to your side of the table. And she does look over to you when there's a break in the conversation. But if you do have that book, please stop by the store or come back by here if you manage to get it by the end of the evening.
I don't. Harry doesn't acknowledge it all.
Well, I do think that we should at least poke our heads into the absinthe store, if that's where everyone met before heading off to this performance. Miss Martine, as nice as she is, does not seem to be willing to actually help us. She seems to be caught up in more drama, but it's very interesting that no one here of other attendees actually attended that concert last night. Now I'm indeed worried for both of our friends.
As am I.
See,
we don't have proof that anyone who attended that concert actually left it. And he's going to stop and he's going to look around. And I'll just keep her. Quick question for you. The architectural plans that Harry had seen that sparked my first loss. Was this building tied to the tunnel structure?
It was.
Can I roll an intelligence or his navigate or survival to see if I can pin, like, where the hell would be the entry point to that tunnel? If it was this,
spot, hidden spot.
Yeah, navigate.
It's got to be the basement,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, whichever one of those you prefer.
I am going to rock with his... I like navigate for this for some reason, so I'm going to go in that direction. So, he hit a 94 over 60. I would like to push the roll. So he's looking at the dirty dishes in front of him. He's looking at Miss Martine having the time of her life while his concern is growing. He's trying to figure out what the correlation is between these creatures that are called the Fauchés, but also that was the crypt that they allegedly met at. And his mind is going back to the hand, and his mind is going back to that book. And there was a certain way that Harry had pushed those papers out, where it was just like this perfect symmetry where he could see the tunnels, and he's going to try to re-envision that, and he is going to fail.
So you recall exactly where that entrance is, and you walk around the corner. You just walk out of the room, leave your friends, and you find yourself walking down a long hallway, and standing in the hallway is a large man blocking a door. And he looks at you, and he's like, "It's like you're not permitted here. This is for staff only."
He looks behind his shoulders for his mouthpiece, who apparently is not standing behind him.
I was finishing my drink and my dinner. Where did Mr. Sean go?
Sir,
I don't know. He just got up and walked away. Maybe he went to the bathroom.
Yeah. We'll wait back here for him.
I am staff. Temporarily appointed, at least. I really need to get to that door behind you, please.
I'm sorry. Someone's been stealing our wine out of the wine cellar here, and I cannot permit you entry. You can try a fast talk roll.
This should be funny with this high-ass dice that I've been rolling. Oh my God, it's a 13, but what's my fast talk?
12.
Even better, 5. I will burn the luck.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh, well, hold on really fast. I didn't roll luck before this game.
Yeah, that was on me. So give
3d6
yep,
times 5.
Yep.
So I was 5, 6, 7. 7 times 5 is 35 luck. He will burn the next. God, well, I got the lowest luck score too, guys. Sorry. He will burn the luck to make that a success.
What do you tell this guy? What is your fast talk move here?
I'm not actually interested in stealing anything. Ooh, nice, baby. I'm not interested in stealing anything. You can come into the room with me. I just need to get into that room. I think the owner might be in trouble. And I just need to confirm or deny that there's something in this room that could aid me in helping him.
Okay.
You have no reason to believe me, but that's the actual truth.
Okay. He's like, I'll let you look around, but 5 minutes. That's all you got.
Thank you, very large, scary man.
And then he pauses for a moment. He like leans towards you and, do you know Jermaine?
He's going back to Texas. This is some bullshit.
I'm pretty sure I smell her perfume on you.
I am a guest at the Count's house, which is why I have this information to provide you. Would you like me to tell her?
He looks at you suspiciously, but nods his head and opens the door. And you step into the wine cellar.
Why do I smell like this girl? I hate everything.
She had a lot of perfume on.
Oh my God. Maybe it was all over the couch. I don't know. He's going home.
She was standing awfully close to you.
Yeah, she was. With her daddies.
So inside the cellar, it's casks, bottles, racks, and you can see that there in the corner there are 3 barrels positioned. 1 is large, 2 are small. And then give me a spot hidden roll.
On the way. It's probably not going to make it. It's a 63 under 55. You know what? I'm real sorry for you guys. Listen. Let's do it. We're doing it again. We're going to burn the luck.
Okay.
63. Okay, I'm doing math. We're good. I'm behind you.
So 8. You feel yourself drawn to this corner because there's something smells wrong over here. It has like I don't know, maybe a rat died. You've definitely smelled this crawling around in tunnels somewhere else before, and you just start messing around with the wine racks, and you notice that one is like slightly like lifted off of the wall. It looks like it's been pulled away. Yep. And you pull on it and it just opens right up, and you can see that it leads down into a tunnel. And as you pull it away from the wall, you can hear the sound of rushing water. You're looking into a dark tunnel, and it looks like there's probably, you can't really tell exactly, but at least a standing foot or 2 of water. And you can hear the sound of rushing water coming from further down the tunnel.
He's going to double tap on the side of the walls, almost like it's something he does in celebration whenever he figures something out. And he's going to back away, and he is going to leave that completely exposed so the guy can see it. I will be right back. I have to go get 2 of my companions, and then we have to go down into that dungeon. Can you stay here and don't let anybody else pass?
Well, it kind of explains who might have been stealing the Count's wine if they could come in through the... doesn't really make sense to guard the door, does it?
I just don't want anybody else. Can you just stay here and do the intimidating thing that you're doing? I'll be back in 5 minutes.
He crosses his arms and stands there.
Yes, that's what I needed, Daddy. And he's going to go run and grab Tip and Harry.
I hope Mr. Shaw's all right. I have to say myself, when I travel, sometimes I get some indigestion, and the local food and water is not necessary, does well to me. So I want to give the man some, Mr. Shaw, hello.
Oh yeah, there he is.
The tunnels that you found in the diagrams and the architectural blueprints, Harry.
What tunnels?
Yeah.
You didn't show Tip the tunnel.
Right.
Yeah, no, I told him.
Yeah.
I have the access point. I have entry to the tunnel.
Oh.
All right. Well, you think we ought to check down there and see if something happened, not go to the crypt?
If all of these places connect via the tunnels, then we may be able to find very interesting. I have to say, Mr. Shaw, I'm quite impressed with your investigative capacities.
I am so relieved that I could please you today, Tip. May we go?
Well, I just want to say that if and when the day comes where I'm reinstated in the United States Senate, I would be glad to offer jobs to both of you on my staff.
Reinstated. We share a look. Yeah, we share a look.
No, it was just a little bit of a miscommunication and a disagreement about certain allocations of funds. These sorts of things happen all the time. This is the bureaucracy expanding to meet the growing bureaucracy. Nevertheless, Mr. Shaw, you have discovered something fantastic. Let us follow you down the dark passageway. I am at your leisure.
I'm gonna kill that character.
So you walk back to the wine cellar, and you can see that the burly man that you left guarding is doubled over, vomiting on the floor, and you can see that one of the barrels, the top has been removed, and it's laying on the floor next to him. And he looks up at you and gives you this and the stench that you smelled when you came in previously is stronger now.
Oh. Mm.
Oh, I smelled that before.
What has happened? Is there something, like, is it clear that liquid has come out of it? Like the things and the top's off and it's empty?
It's just, all you can see is that the top is off, and it doesn't look like there's any liquid in there, and there's no liquid on the floor other than what has been evacuated.
It's still upright.
Yes.
I see.
Mm.
Yeah, that's he looks down at the guy. He goes, "There's a body in there, isn't there?"
He like
smell it.
He pauses and like wipes his mouth. He's like, "It's just parts."
Oh, that's not good.
Oof. Perhaps you might wish to get the authorities involved.
And you go over and you can see that not only is there a lid, but it looks like there's a tablecloth that had been stuffed down in there too. It's laying on the floor, and you can see that there's like splotches of like stains and grease and stuff on this tablecloth.
How fresh do the parts look?
They don't look fresh.
Okay, that's what I assume. So he puts up a hand and he says, maybe let's not involve the authorities right away. These don't look too fresh.
But Harry, I'm going to take that as an implication that you look to check and see how fresh those parts look. So give me a sanity check.
That is a 22 under, well, a lot more than 22. Okay. 58.
So you see that it looks like there's a full like human femur that has like some rotten bits of flesh hanging off of it, and some ribs that have been picked completely bare. And you're going to lose 1 bit of sanity for that.
Yep.
You can see the teeth marks on the femur and the ribs. Content
warning, I do say. Whew. It suddenly got so hot in here. I feel underneath the collar. This is. I just was enjoying a nice fine dinner here, and you've brought this. Perhaps I'll just tiptoe around this and.
I put the lid back on so they don't have to see it.
Thank you. See, like I said, if and when the day comes, I would be glad to have you on my staff.
The smell dissipates just a hair.
A little bit, yeah.
And you all, as you move past the barrels, you can hear the sound of running water coming from the tunnels.
I look around. Is there like an oil lamp or something in the wine cellar, or is there electric down here? What's our situation? Because I assume the tunnels are going to be dark.
Give me a luck check.
Okay.
Oh, let me give you a luck check. I've got all the luck.
Damn sure don't want me to do it.
39 under 40.
Okay. Nice. One oil lamp. The room does have lighting, but it looks like there was a lamp there. It was sitting next to the barrels for some reason.
So I check it to make sure that there's oil in it, and pull out my lighter, light it up, and pass it to Mike.
And Mike will jump out and hit in front.
Reach in and pull out my pistol.
Okay. You all make your way into the tunnels, and using Mike's sense of direction and having looked at these the blueprints and you can tell that you can get to the Absinthe House fairly easily. There's a direct route.
Good to know.
Does anything happen to be marked like old smuggler passages? Is there any sort of, old, rotten wooden
And that's
signs or anything?
it's a great question. For the most part, this looks like the tunnels are made of concrete and they look relatively new. Like these are not
Interesting.
ancient tunnels. Don't see any markings in this tunnel that you're in.
Okay.
Once you step into the water, you can feel, and once you walk out beyond the entry, you can feel the pull of the water. There's definitely a current running here.
So we have to walk through the water. There's no side platform.
There's no side. No.
So it's sort of
Time
like
to get wet, Tip. Get wet
like
with
here.
us.
How deep is the water? Like ankle deep?
Where you're standing at right now, it's about 1.5 feet. So you're getting wet.
Okay. Well, we're already wet anyway.
I've got my umbrella with me, and I'm using that as a cane.
Tip, just before we proceed forward, this feels like information you may need to know because it may actually be relevant at this point. In the Count's library, his assortment of books range from human anatomy to medicine to cooking, and that was the vast majority of his books. Given what Harry and that poor guard just saw in the barrel upstairs, this might get worse very quickly.
I appreciate your taking time to think about me. I have a rather stern capacity for the outrageous, but duly noted, and I will take note.
Holding up the lantern, watching his footing, he's going to push forward. This is what he does.
Yeah, since we're sharing, aside from the book, the things in the book, there are some things I've seen. Some things I've taken on a couple of cases that aren't. Well, they wouldn't be. It's not normal. There's I've seen things. So just be prepared that there might be some beings out there. Perhaps you could say.
Well, while we're sharing, I must say that I did lie to the Judiciary Committee when I said that I had not misappropriated funds. So I recognize that we're all in this moment. We're confessing what we know, forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, Tip. Maybe you should, just make sure you stay behind this, okay?
I'm so done. I'm big done.
And I put a hand on Mike's shoulder and I say, "Are you going to be okay?"
I'm going to be fine, Harry. I'm very grateful that you're here. And then he's going to look at you, and because I thought this was written so well on the sheet, he's going to look you dead in your face, and he's going to say, "I believe you, because I am certain that I have seen and heard things that are not of this world."
And he just, he gives you that slow nod.
That's direct off the character sheet, guys. Y'all can thank Keeper Doc for that. And he's moving forward.
You make your way forward through this tunnel, and you feel the pull of the water as you go. And as you're making your way towards what you know to be the Absinthe House speakeasy, and as you're traversing this tunnel, which you're pretty sure is just leading you parallel with Bourbon Street.
Okay.
You notice that there is a alcove in the tunnel, just coming right off the wall to your left as you move forward in the water.
You guys seeing this?
Yeah. Can I make a listen check? See if we hear anything?
Yeah.
44. Well, we should be playing Delta Green. 44 under 67.
Okay. So you just hear the sound of running water. You do not hear anything unusual coming from this alcove that you see. But further down the tunnels, you hear the faint sound of jazz music.
So I put a hand up. And he, kind of has his head cocked. He says, "All right, this seems okay over here. And he points to his ear and he goes, "I hear music, a little bit of jazz music. You hear it?" And he
I
points
do.
further
I have
down
to
the hall.
say, in the last few years, I've spent some more time down here, and I've come quite accustomed to it. I do enjoy it. Thank you for pointing it out. Oh, you're saying that there's some reason to be aware of it. It's hard to hear over the noise of the water.
Yeah. There's people down here. There probably shouldn't be people down here.
No, there shouldn't be people down here.
And the music that you hear, it's definitely jazz, but it's not very pleasant.
Like discordant. So it's like Bill Evans.
Yeah, yes. This is discordant. Kind of like creeping and slow, doesn't have that usual pep that you're used to hearing with your jazz music. Very, very downbeat.
Avant-garde, I believe, is the term that the local musicians are using in their interpretation.
Before we move in, let's check this over here. And I obviously speaking in hushed tones. And I want to, clear the alcove and make sure that there's nothing, does this lead up into the Absinthe House, or is it just like a little dead end? Is there, what's in this little space?
Yeah, you look into this little space and there is a barred gate that's blocking entry into a space. You can see the space itself is dark. When you pull the lantern up to it, you notice that there are not only markings scrawled on the wall surrounding this door, but there are also figurines that are dangling from the doorway on the inside and the outside. There is a rusty metal lock that appears to secure the gate in place. As you shine the light into the space, you notice that it's a room that's filled with, it's filled with wooden containers. And in those wooden containers are mushrooms, lots of mushrooms growing. And then you see some what looks like some other plants growing in this like dank cellar.
What does the scratching look like? Is it actual words? Is it symbols?
Do you have a cult?
I actually don't. For all of the shit that Harry has seen, he has just base 5%.
It looks like some weird occult shit.
Yeah, 67.
Yeah, it looks like some weird occult shit.
Okay, I might have seen some of that in some of the books that I found.
But you don't know exactly what it's intended for.
Can I try a natural world to get an intention on it?
Sure.
Not from an occult perspective, but just, hey, what are these mushrooms? Let me see if that was a fumble.
You just eat them.
Yeah, we just looked at the rule last night. If do you have more than a 50 in the skill?
Hold on real fast. Natural world. We are okay. I was in fumble range, but he has a 60.
No, you're totally distracted by these mushrooms that are growing in the basement. Like, it looks like someone's farming mushrooms in the basement here.
What the hell is this?
The environment is perfect for fungus, I do say.
Also, like, take a look at the lock and see if it's been, keyed. Like, is it old? Like, obviously, someone's in here because there's stuff in here. If it looks like relatively fresh, but take a look at the lock itself to see if it has been opened and closed.
It has been, but probably not for a long time. The lock and the metal frame around the door are very rusted.
Okay, all right. So then he just says, "Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody's coming in here. Doesn't go anywhere. Got these weird symbols and shit here. I don't know what."
But I'm sorry, when you said it doesn't go anywhere, the other thing that you do notice, and as you're kind of looking at the lock in the corner where you're standing, you can see that there's a small, narrow set of stairs that leads up.
Okay.
There's no light above, though.
Gotcha. All right, so maybe this leads up to the Absinthe House then. Maybe they're growing mushrooms down here. They don't want anybody coming in. So like Tip said, it's a good environment, I guess.
He's going to reach up and pull down one of these trinkets that you said was hanging overhead.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't care about my sanity today, apparently.
Okay. You pull it down. What are you doing with it?
Right now, it's just observing it, turning it over in its hand, seeing what it's... I hate the questions I'm about to ask. What is it depicting? And hopefully
it looks
it's not
like
one of those damn... Don't say it. What is
Yeah,
it?
it looks like a straw construction of some sort of like long-limbed creature.
I'm going home. Going home.
Do we think that this is the place about where the absinthe house is?
Do you want to give me a navigate roll? Anyone?
There may be. I can say the phrase out loud, but I've got so much. I'm feeling so peckish with my luck these days. Maybe I'll just give it a swing anyway. Not that lucky. I say it out loud because I have to say I'm quite confused. These tunnels, it's not my natural abode. If you ask me how to find the third floor men's room in the Capitol building, I happen to know exactly where that is from here.
As he's dropping the straw figure into the water with almost shock and disgust. Thank God something has prompted him to think about something else. He succeeded on his navigate.
Okay. And you see that the straw figure just goes shooting down the tunnels away from you all. And you're probably about halfway to where the absinthe house should be, but you think you're probably standing directly beneath La Petite Arcane.
Ah, ha, ha. Once again, Mr. Shaw, I have to say, you find yourself in the right place in the right time. I presume you tell us.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, the absinthe house is another X amount of yards that way. This should put us somewhere, I believe that bookstore, I believe. That is the bookstore, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where the keys are.
Well, then maybe that music is the absinthe house. Then maybe it echoes from upstairs down into the tunnels here.
Well, I try the gate. Is it open?
It doesn't open, but when you push on it, it feels like the lock is pretty rusty and old. Like there's a give to it.
Yeah, and I have a little bit of give to me as well. I am a man of full appetites. What if I just leaned heavily into this gate?
Oh, by all means.
Was that a colorful way of saying that you were thick? Is that what this happened?
I have lived a full life.
Dave, you're one of my favorite people.
That is a regular success.
Yeah, so you just sort of lean on the door, and it just like you kind of stumble in to the room. The lock just breaks away. It almost like disintegrates and and rust just spills all over the floor.
What has just happened? I do declare.
Oh, be careful there.
John
seem to have tripped.
I wonder if this, in fact, is the bookstore. If we may find the keys to the aforementioned crypt upstairs, I would be fine playing lookout. I am not that stealthy of a person.
I look over to Mike, say, well, what do you think? We're here. No time like the present.
Return, right? Let's get the key. Maybe we don't need it. Maybe we do. But I'd rather have resources than turn down access to free ones. And we know the bookshop is empty. At least we think it is. We know the owner's not there. She's directing all of her traffic back that way.
Yeah. All right.
So you tiptoe up the stairs and you find yourselves in the back room of the bookstore. And very quickly you see that there is a pegboard that hangs on the wall, and there are crypt keys, old rusty crypt keys hanging. There's a bunch of other stuff too. It looks like a hand of glory, what looks like a broken crystal ball. There's a bunch of books. None of them really grab your attention. There is a copy of that Crescent City Curses and Lore that she was talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
Downstairs, meanwhile, I've discovered that I have not been quite sated in my dinner earlier. It left me a little bit wanting. I'm eyeing these mushrooms.
Oh God.
I can't say that I have too much understanding of what it takes to prepare some mushrooms, and I do understand that they do need some oil and some heat. But I've also have a strong enough appetite. Is there any that look that they could be edible as is?
Yeah. I mean, they all. I mean, they're plump and nice and.
I've heard that you take it and you just touch it to the tip of your tongue and to see if it's poisonous, and your lizard instinct takes over. I'll taste a couple of these, and do they taste? They. I mean, perhaps this is some sort of secret culinary treasure trove.
Some of them you find to be distasteful. Like there's a slick coating on the surface of them, and those you immediately recoil from. But some have a kind of an earthy taste to them.
I'm a little peckish while I wait.
Okay, you eat a couple of them.
We're playing a one shot, so I don't know, and I got a lot of luck.
I mean,
I rolled for the audience. I rolled an 18 on 3d6 for my luck. So I have a 90 luck. So I'm
Let's
in.
Do it.
Whatever. We're in the last hour. Let's do
burn
this.
It,
I got
baby, burn it.
Yeah, some of these are really quite tasty.
You
think there may be some like truffles and morels here. You're kind of just
tucking in. I'm tucking in.
Yeah, you are a little hungry.
It's true. I'll eat away. Let the gentlemen professionals do their business.
And you guys return from upstairs with the keys in hand, and you see Tip is just standing in front of these
fisted.
Yeah, he's got different mushrooms in each hand, and he's just eating. And they're crumbs of mushrooms.
And there's
like
jazz playing in the background, right? It's a little bit atonal.
You hear like the faint jazz in the background.
I'm having a good time down here.
Yeah.
Oh, gentlemen, I have to say that you should try one of these. And his voice has a little bit of a slur to it. Not really sure what's going on, but I have to say, and he kind of hands you out these clumps of dirt and fungus. Gentlemen, I have to say, I have discovered a treasure trove of fungal decadence.
What the hell's wrong with you?
Decadence.
Behind Mike, a locked gate. You don't even know how old those things are. Jesus, man.
What?
They taste fresh.
Oh, it's good.
Mike, give me a natural world roll.
I just want to go home. He hit a 9, which chances are is going to be an extreme or really close. But since I only have 21 luck left, let's have a good time. I'm going to burn 3 to make this an extreme.
You recognize these are some rare South American hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Oh, yeah.
Stronger than the variety grown here in the United States.
My pupils are like fucking black holes. It's only been 10 minutes, so we'll see.
Yeah, no. Am I feeling anything yet?
Yeah.
I'm not feeling anything.
No, I'm not feeling anything.
Harry?
Yeah.
This was the worst possible thing he could have done mid-investigation to us.
No. I'll be fine. This way, I'm not as hungry, and so I won't be as distracted.
They're not poisonous, are they?
I mean, it depends how you define poisonous. They have very, very strong hallucinogenic properties.
Listen to what?
These in particular have a very high psilocybin content. Mike knows this from his study of plants and.
Mr. Shaw, did you find the keys? Perhaps we should get on with our investigation.
Hey Doc, can you translate that word for me before I respond to Tip? They have a
What's
high
that?
property. They have a
you already said it. You already said it. Very hallucinogenic.
You had a sexier word for it. I like it.
I did. Yeah, it was an experienced word. Yeah. Street cred.
Listen.
Yeah.
Rep.
Yeah.
Shaw, I have to say, I've not noticed that you have such a strong physique.
And here
kind of reaches out and squeezes your shoulder.
We go.
Is there anything we could do for him? Jeez, you make him throw up, maybe?
No.
Come on. Let's follow up on we need to find our friends. Where's Mr. Elias? And he stomps off into the water. Splash, push.
Oh, this is
it's
not going to be good.
already hit his circulatory system.
Shit.
He is past the point of no return.
And you all go. Do you have the lantern, by the way, Tip?
No.
I do not.
No.
Okay.
So
Stomping
if
in
it's
the
truly
dark.
like if it's pitch black out there, then I can only get so far. I kind of like go out to the ring of the light and kind of look back.
Yeah, so you all find Tip like standing like a good 10, 15 feet ahead of you, looking back at you. You walk the rest of the way down the block to where you expect the Absinthe House to be, and you find that there is it looks like a large dumbwaiter type apparatus, and then a set of stairs next, or not stairs, but a ladder next to it. It leads up. This, where you're standing, you can hear the music quite clearly. It's directly above head.
Does the tunnel continue on, or does it end here?
It does continue on.
Okay.
It takes a turn to your right.
Okay. You think we should just check down to the corner at least, make sure that there's nothing else down here before we maybe head up?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. He'll offer the lantern. Do you want me to go spot it, or do you want to grab it? One of us has to stay here with him.
Yeah, no, I'll go.
So he'll hand you the lantern, and he will babysit the politician.
Okay. Harry, you don't get too far down the tunnel before you hear something. There's splashing in the water.
I immediately stop and turn the lantern down, or close the cover, whatever the lantern is, and just wait and listen.
Give me a listen roll.
Okay. Ooh, 65. I don't think that's going to do it. Let's see, 65. My listen is 67. Oh, it does make it. Regular.
So you hear splashing coming towards you. And your eyes are adjusting to the darkness. There's no light here. Perhaps just a tiny amount filtering in from above where that ladder was behind you. And you make out just ever so faintly a figure taking long strides through the water, coming towards you.
I will start to back up and get against the wall and try to stealthily move back towards them, without splashing through the water. So he's moving kind of slow, but he's up against the wall and he's got the lantern mostly down.
Okay. And Tip and Mike, the light goes out.
A gasp audibly.
Mike is immediately going to get low, and he is going to try to get a hand over with Tip and just get him low and get him quiet.
Okay. You're all low, quiet, up against the wall, and you can barely make out this thing as it moves past you. It has long limbs. It's wearing old clothing, as best as you can tell, and a floppy hat hanging down over its face. And it just moves past you. You hear a couple sniffs and snuffles as it steps through the water. It seems like it's breathing relatively hard because it's moving against the current. And it just passes and disappears into the darkness.
Do we smell anything different about that? Does it smell like anything?
Oh. Yeah, it smells like decay. And you catch this strange acrid scent too. It almost is like almost floral in a way. And it kind of stings your nostrils as it moves past.
I'll wait like a good few minutes before moving back to make sure that it's not coming back. And then, quietly move back over towards them, still with the light down. Say, did you guys saw that, right? I think it was that thing from the book.
Mike stands. Okay.
Maybe you want to just go up then? Maybe get out of this tunnel.
Please get me out of these goddamn tunnels.
You all climb up out of the tunnels, and you find yourself. There's like a ledge that the dumbwaiter comes up to, and you push against like what looks like an entryway, and it slides out, and you're standing in a storeroom. There's a bag of what looks like sugar that's propped up against this door. It looks like another false door. And there's a cot in the room. There's a bunch of musical instruments present, and you can hear the sound of jazz music playing just beyond the door.
Oh boy.
All right. So what's our play here?
So we are still trying to find our friends. And we are thinking that whatever is happening in here, this is where they went first, whether or not they ended up in some sort of crypts or something. But we are trying to find the last time we think that we can identify that they were here, if that was not confusing enough. This is their last known place. So we are looking for evidence of where they left from here.
Or if they ever did leave from here.
All right. I concur. I think that someone should poke their heads out and try to see what's out there. I don't know. I have to say, I feel a little funny.
Just look at you like, fuck.
Poor lamb. I have two concerns I would like to at least articulate or put onto the board for consideration. Whatever that thing is downstairs, do you think they were feeding it?
Oh dear, did I eat its dinner?
I don't know if it's eating the mushrooms or if the parts that we found in the barrel they were throwing down for snacks.
Oh, I didn't look in the barrel.
Yeah, I'm none too sure. I just hope that thing wasn't running from something that was even worse.
The door swings open.
Holy hell, I didn't need that to happen.
and a thick, burly man is standing there. He's like, what are you doing in here? How'd you get it? Oh, shit. Those damn... The Count and his stupid secret passages for smuggling crap. Who are you people?
I have my arm kind of behind me now since I had the pistol in my hand. Hey, we were looking for the Count. We thought maybe he was,
He's out there. What the hell are you? Well, why did you come in? There's a front door to this place,
We thought maybe he was stuck down there. Nobody had seen him since yesterday. We thought maybe, he passed out.
Get out of here. Come here. And he leads you out from behind the bar. So you step out from the storeroom into the Absinthe House, and you hear this strange jazz music playing. You notice as soon as you step into the room, the mood is actually very subdued. And the bartender's like, first of all, I'm just going to apologize. The atmosphere here is really bad tonight. I don't know what the deal is. Like, I've just been standing behind the bar. Look at these people. And you look around the room and you can see that like everybody's kind of like looks very sullen. It almost looks like the conversations are very quiet and hushed, and no one's really moving that much except for the musicians. And you see he points out a guy. You see that guy right there? That's the Count. I found him here in the storage room this morning, sleeping on a cot. He's been here all day.
Was there anybody else with him?
On that cot? You saw that cot. It's a small cot. No, it was just him.
Ah, shit. All right, well, we got to
see Jackson Elias in the room?
You do not see Jackson Elias, but give me a spot hidden roll.
I don't know.
I can see the sounds. I can see the music.
You can see the music.
I got it. 68 under 81.
I'm going to spend 9 luck because I got it to burn.
Yeah, you do.
And I want to be part of the Cool Kid Club.
It's like, you'll need a He's like, I only got, and he holds up a bar towel. He's like, I only got this, but do you all need this? You seem a little wet.
I don't think that's going to help, Guy. But thanks for the offer.
I do have some of these. He pulls them out of his jacket.
What's wrong with your
pocket.
eyes?
Well, I will say that if you have some of these mushrooms, they're quite tasty.
Slapping mushrooms out of his hand. No, slapping.
Oh,
slapping.
hey now.
He's like, you know what? That looks. And he pulls out a bottle of absinthe and shows it to you. He's like, that kind of. He holds it to the light and shows it to you, and you can see like little flecks of stuff floating around in the bottle of the absinthe bottle. It's like it kind of looks. Is that those things that you got in your hands that I just smacked all over the floor with? It's like, this is what Torn was serving folks last night.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, why no one left this room, and why they're this.
Oh no! These are the people that showed up this evening. So all of you notice that past your spot hidden roll, you can see that there's like a faint yellow haze that's hanging off the bottom of the floor, and you can see that there are candles sitting atop of the piano. There's no pianist playing right now, but you can see that there are candles sitting atop the piano, and they're sort of spilling this thick yellow haze smoke that's drifting slowly towards the floor.
I don't like that.
Nope, at all.
Well, I'm going to go speak to the Count.
How many candles are there?
3, and they're about half burnt down.
I just walk over and snuff them out.
Oh,
yeah, and as you get close and you snuff them out, and you can smell the smoke that's rising up off them, it has that same acrid stench that you just smelled in the tunnel as that thing walked past you. You also notice that there are black flecks of what looks like some sort of plant material embedded within the wax of these candles.
Oh, God.
Monsieur Count, I have to say, we were a little bit disappointed this afternoon when you were tardy for your appointment, but I'm glad to see you here. And I come to stand in front of the Count.
I open the front door while that's going on.
And he'll do a sweep for Jackson Elias.
Okay. No, Jackson. The Count looks up and he's got his bags under his eyes, and he tries to muster a smile, but he looks very tired, and he's like, I am terribly sorry. I know I was supposed to meet you and Jackson. We went to this thing last night, and I didn't want to go, but I just didn't want my daughter to get involved. Just felt very strange, funny. Jackson's eyes look just the ways yours do, in fact.
Oh, God.
Maybe he ate these.
He pulls more mushrooms out of his pockets.
I don't know if that's what he ate, but never mind.
Do you know where he is? Now that we've found you, sir, can perhaps some getting out into the rain and some fresh air will serve you better. Our mutual friends, Mr. Shaw, Mr. Stanton, are here as well, and they too are concerned about you.
Oh, I'm so glad that you made it, and I'm terribly sorry. Maybe we do get some air. I had that meeting with Arena, and I was really trying to avoid seeing her again, and I just had a little bit too much to drink, and I just feel funny. But yes, maybe some air.
I have I'm directing the bartender to open the windows. I have kick the front door open. Like, this is not.
Yeah, and you can see this haze is kind of like spilling out the doors and the windows.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Right.
And the Count stands up and begins to like pat himself, and he's like, as he's getting ready to walk out with you all, and he pulls out a piece of paper and hands it to you. Let's get handout number 4.
She is up for you. She's public facing.
Is this tonight, this evening?
Oh, no, that's what that Torn guy handed out at his thing last night. He had these strange musicians, big guys. There was another guy in here earlier this evening, floppy hat, playing the piano. Same guy was there performing last night, too.
Perhaps. Are you familiar with those Fauché?
Oh, the Fauché family?
Yes. Tell us more.
Cursed. Back in the early 18th century, they got involved in some badness. Their daughter tried to revoke a family curse and apparently called down some evil spirits. And Marie Laveau, this is all arena stuff. She's really big into these things. But she tried to counteract the family curse. She ended up bringing some bad spirit or something or other, and Marie Laveau had to capture it and contain it or something like that. I don't, it's not really my thing.
So you did see this performance last night, though?
I left after the first act.
And did you leave Jackson there?
He said he wanted to stick it out.
Aha.
Oh boy.
So he has not returned either.
I have not seen him all day.
Yeah, I have to say, you've been a little delinquent in your hosting of activities, sir.
I take full responsibility. I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah. Well, where was this performance?
Well, I believe it was at the Fauché house, but I know they were going to the crypt.
Well, let's soggy shoes and all, shall we head on down to the crypt? It feels like that's where we might find our friend.
I think so. That's where Act 3 of whatever this swamp song thing was supposed to be held. The depths of hell. St. Louis Cemetery, the Fauché Crypt.
Then that parade. That parade is what people heard in the middle of the night. Interesting.
Do I have to come with you?
Yes.
If you know where the crypt is.
Well, I didn't go, but I can do my best to give you a hand.
I have to say, sir, as a host of these activities, and we are your friends, and the safety of our mutual friend is at stake here.
I must admit, I'm a tad bit under the weather.
Yes, you and me both.
You feel a little.
Look at my. These Italian shoes do not come waterproof.
I haven't eaten all day either.
Well, that is not something I can speak to.
Well, could you help? I saw that you had some sustenance on you. Could you perhaps?
Oh, yes.
No.
Absolutely.
Don't eat those. I slapped that out of your hand.
No.
He grabs a couple and.
Bartender, get this man a sandwich.
Not food.
And you guys get outside, and a taxi pulls up and with great difficulty makes its way to the cemetery. The water is over the curb now. It takes you a good 30 minutes to drive just a handful of blocks north.
Wow.
And he pulls over and his engine is stalling out as you pull up in front of the cemetery. He's like, I don't think I'm going to be able to go anywhere else tonight. It's like, you should be safe. Be careful.
You too.
And you walk through the gates of the cemetery, and you can see that there's a figure in one of the alcoves of crypts. All of the crypts here in the St. Louis Cemetery are above ground, as is the custom in New Orleans. And you can see why. Once you step in, like, you can feel the sodden ground beneath your feet, and you can see that there's somebody taking refuge in one of the alcoves of a crypt as you walk through the cemetery gates.
If it doesn't look like an extendedly, strange form that Harry pointed out, and start making his way over that way.
Yeah, you make your
floppy hat. We're not doing it.
No floppy hat. You get closer, and it's a bearded old man, and he's sitting on a stool, kind of propped up in a corner of the crypt.
Hey, old timer, how's it going?
He doesn't respond.
How you feeling?
No response. He's just tucked up in the corner there.
Does it look like he's sleeping? Can I see his face enough to like?
You can see his face. I mean, it looks like he's sleeping. You don't see any obvious wounds.
Okay.
Does it look like he's breathing?
Yeah. He gets in a little bit closer and he, puts a hand on his shoulder and he says, "Hey, buddy."
And you startle him and he's like, "Oh man."
Dave.
What? And he puts a hand to his ear.
So I get down a little bit closer. I'm like, "Hey, how you feeling? How you doing, buddy?"
Good. It's very wet out.
Yeah. We're soaked through. Do you have a place to stay? Are you squatting here in the cemetery?
This is my job. I was supposed to be taking care of some business tonight. Didn't anticipate the rain. Got caught out here. I'm the groundskeeper.
Oh yeah, it didn't mean any disrespect. Of course, I seen you curled up here on the stoop. Hey, were you here last night when they had that event? He was kind of like waving his hands around, like, no, I don't know what to call this.
I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything?
No.
They led a whole procession down here, I heard.
Oh, there was some garbage. Some people left, looked like invitations or programs or something, and champagne glasses scattered everywhere.
Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. People come in here and make a mess. You haven't seen anybody around today, have you?
No, there's always that guy who's kind of some guy with a floppy hat. It's always
that guy. Yeah, we heard about
around
that
here.
Yeah. Does he hang around a certain spot? Is he just like in the cemetery? Does he hang around a certain crypt?
I can't say anyone in particular. I just see him out here stooped around, sitting on stones and crypt steps. Now that you mention it, maybe the Fauché. I saw him with that Torn fellow a couple times.
Oh, you don't say. Could you tell us where the Fauché crypt is at?
Yeah. Just go straight to the end and take a right. It's the second crypt.
Second crypt. That's great. You going to be okay out here? You're all right?
It'll blow over soon enough, I'm sure.
There's a lot of water out there in the street, man. It's up.
I'm not walking home in this. It's fine. I'll be fine.
All right. He kind of gives him looks at him sort of askance, like, sure, this is fine. You're sleeping in the cemetery in the rain.
And he kind of is like, he just leans back in his corner and goes, like, starts snoozing. You hear the snores as you are walking away. You take the path that he directed you towards, and you find yourself in front of the Fauché crypt. You can see that there's a grated metal bar entrance, and then beyond that is a stone door. The keys easily open both.
Nice. We do so. I say to Tip, is this normal down here? People sleeping in the cemeteries? All this seems like a really odd. I guess it doesn't matter.
Around these parts, I say people have their own proclivities. I'm originally not from this area, so it has just taken me a while to, get accustomed to these local traditions. It is a bit strange, but tonight has been a night of firsts for everyone.
Yeah, you could say that.
I did. I think I did. Is this my outside voice?
Oh, mushroom.
Yeah, it is.
And the Count looks at you all and he's like, "Do I have to go in?"
No, yes. Count. No, Count. You don't. You've brought us this far. Thank you.
But don't go anywhere. Stay here in this upper part of the crypt here.
Dear sir, could I have your umbrella? You seem to have me at a disadvantage. That is my umbrella.
This is currently my umbrella, which I have borrowed from you, which you were unable to lend to me at your house. I'm going to say right now that the threat to you, sir, this is me using my fast talk, the threat to you, sir, outside the crypts here at night is far, far more dangerous than if you follow your friends into the crypt. I would advise, I will bring up the rear, but I would advise, and he steps back and gestures toward Mr. Shaw and Mr. Stanton, I would advise you join us. Can I roll fast doc?
Oh, please do.
Y'all about to get this NPC killed. I'm so excited.
He hesitates. He kind of wobbles. And I'm like, I will say that your daughter was concerned that you were going to be letting us gallivant around the city on our own. I would hate to have to go back and tell her. I'm pushing it.
Push the
Much
roll.
better.
Push it, push
Okay.
it, push it.
You can see his face drops when you mention his daughter, but he allows it to pass. And he's like, I have been a terrible host. I should take responsibility, squiring you about the city, even into such dark depths as these. Please, after you or one of you.
Yes, you can follow Mr. Shaw. I will bring up the rear, and I will have your umbrella as well.
As you step in and shine the light inside the crypt, you can see that there's a yellow haze drifting along the floor. Give me a spot hidden roll.
I'm picking up the rear, so I'm going to wait.
Ooh, I think that's going to be right on. 81 out of 81.
That's a
So
good spot hidden.
that's a great spot hidden. As you walk into the crypt, you notice that as you're shining the lantern around, you can see that the yellow haze is coming up from the edges of what looks like a steel plate that's embedded in the floor of the crypt.
Looks like we go down, I guess.
And you walk over to it, and it says, it's carved into the steel plate. It says, Evangeline Fauché, beloved daughter and blessed host. Born 1802, died 1826. You can see that looks like a spike has been nailed into the floor, and there's rope coiled around it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Is the rope
Sorry, what's coiled on it?
Yeah.
Rope
coiled
on the floor next to the spike.
Like leading down into the ground. Like I'll use rope to get down or get back up.
As Harry lifts the steel plate off the floor, you can see that is exactly what it is for. There is a sloping tunnel that leads down, and you can hear the sound of dripping water below. And it's not a slow drip, it's a fast drip. And shining the light down, you can see the yellow smoke billowing out.
Oh,
I don't like this. I don't like that smoke. I think that's gonna mess with everybody. But Tip, are you gonna be okay trying to make it down here?
I will do the best I can. I will say now our dear friend Mr. Jackson, his safety seriously concerns me. He is persona non grata, and I am concerned. So I will follow this clue trail.
Yeah.
To wherever it leads, as will our good friend and host, the Count. Right, Count?
He's like,
I feel like there is a limit to my. Although I am most curious, I'm feeling quite funny again. Well, with you at my side, Mr. Palmer, I consider it. But I insist you go first.
Well, I won't be climbing first. These gentlemen are far more capable men of action, but I'm in. If you decide that you need me to go first as bait, I will do so.
I would prefer.
I would prefer. Actually, that works out great for me.
With a little heft of the belt, a little cinching up in the belt, he'll bust out his base climb skill. I still got 81 luck.
You still have 81
You
luck?
just want to make rolls and spend that luck.
He's like, listen, we're fourth quarter. Let's go.
I slip and catch myself, and everyone goes as I the first 5 feet are really, really fast, and then I grab. And I'm going to push that at the risk of Doc. You can do to me what you will, but I'm
I'm ready.
But I can't use luck on a push roll.
You cannot.
You can't use luck on a push roll.
Push it, Dave. Push it.
push it.
Yeah, but my climb is so small, and I have so much luck. I rolled absolutely terribly. I rolled an 88. So that would be 68 luck.
I feel like Tip is inclined to make a bad decision here.
Let's do it. Let's push it. Tell me what happens.
So suddenly you're climbing down the rope and you've got a good grasp on it. All of a sudden it starts wriggling in your hands and it looks like it's got to be a copperhead.
Snakes! I hate snakes!
And he lets go and just slides down this slick stone slope and knocks both Mike and Harry, who are climbing with no difficulty whatsoever, down the rest of the way.
All right. You're welcome, everyone.
Just
wanted to get the entire party together.
And you can see the Count's like, is everybody okay down there?
Crash, boom, crash, crash, boom, slide, crash.
And you find yourselves in a chamber. The chamber it's made of stone. There are carvings on the wall. You can see that lengths of Spanish moss are hanging from the ceiling above, and the light that's being cast throughout the room is coming from these lanterns. They're sickly yellow and they're slow burning, and they fizzle as filthy liquid drops from the ceiling above. You can see that the oil in the lanterns themselves has dark black flecks in it.
Nope.
Everybody give me a spot hidden.
I don't wanna.
You're gonna notice some other things, but
okay. Do I get a bonus die because my eyes are dilated? Like,
oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Like you're taking in all of the light.
I got an extreme. I got an 09.
Nice roll. Regular success.
Ooh. 01. I can see everything.
Wow. Okay. So
Damn.
You see a number of things in this room immediately. Remarkably too, given the fact that you all like slid down this slope, skidded over the top of the stone lip and into this pool of water that's rapidly accumulating. You can see Jackson is floating in a wooden coffin directly next to you.
Oh, I do say so. I'm glad to have finally found you.
You also notice that several other audience members are floating in coffins throughout this space. You
Performance art indeed.
That there is a figure crouching on the floor. Well, he's crouching on a pillar that's arising from the floor. He's wearing a black leotard. You presume it to be a he, that covers his arms and legs. And then on his back, he has these crumbling, wet wings that are made of cardboard. And on his face, you simply see a mask. You see what looks like the eyes have been blacked out, and the mask, it looks as if tentacles are hanging from where his mouth should be.
On the mask?
On the mask. But it's clearly a mask made of some material, possibly leather, cloth. And the figure, you can see Harry with your excellent and Tip with your excellent spot hidden. You can see the eyes are closed, and then beyond him you see carved into the wall, partially concealed beneath some soggy cardboard scenery, are the words, "Do not wake the Lord of Worms and Dirt." And sign below, carved in stone, is Marie Laveau.
Well, I do say I'm sorry we are late for the performance. What did we miss?
He's immediately going to the coffin to see if Jackson is alive.
So
yeah,
you stumble over to the coffin, and again, you feel this as you step into the water. You feel that the ground is soggy. It feels like it almost has a give to it. And as you walk through the water, you feel something flicking at your leg. Maybe you've brushed up against some plant, or maybe there's a worm or a snake in the water. You're not really sure, but it tickles your ankles. And you get to Jackson, and you can see that he is breathing, but unconscious.
What is the artist doing as we...
He is not moved at all. His eyes have remained closed. and still.
I do say so. Can I call you? Is it Mr. Torn?
As you say this, his eyes open, and instead of seeing pupils, they're just simply glowing yellow orbs.
Ah, you have eaten the same mushrooms I have.
And he stands up. And as he does so, he begins pulling the muck and mire off the surface of the water and reaching out towards you. You can see that brown, dirty pseudopods rise up off of the surface of the water and begin pulling the coffins down beneath the water and towards the artist.
Mike, get him over here. Get him over here.
I pull my hammer out of my pocket, and finally having focus, I am going to stride confidently to redeem myself from all of my previous sins, and I'm going to hit this man in the head and tell him to stop.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go in initiative order, dexterity order. So Harry, you get the first move. Tip is striding confidently, if not a little bit erratically, through the water. There's
a squish to my all of my soaked clothes as well.
Yeah.
I would be trying to help Mike get Jackson out of the water, out of the coffin, and up towards the rope.
Okay.
Yeah, ideally, since he's already floating, let's float that coffin all the way over so we can just dip the body out and get him onto the rope.
Okay, so your action is to move Jackson in the coffin through the water to the lip and then try to get him up. How are you going to get him up the ramp?
Well, that's a later problem.
Assuming we get to the ramp, but he'll body haul him if he has to. And this is an explorer. I'm sure this isn't the first time he's had to drag a friend or comrade, a fellow hiker, mountain climber, spelunker, or something just around and using a rope to pull himself up.
Okay.
If push comes to shove, we can always tie a loop around him, climb up, and pull him up if we need to.
Yep. Good call.
Okay. All right.
I love that you're relying on me to take on the big bad one-on-one combat. It's great.
So when you say take on and relying, that's up to interpretation. I don't want to commit to those particular words.
Sure.
But we are grateful.
Leaving me to.
We are so grateful.
Distraction.
So before we get too far along into all this, I'm going to actually need everybody to give me their sanity checks.
Oh, Jesus. Y'all know how I've been doing those.
09 again.
Holy shit. He might have made this.
Hey, an 11.
They were killing it, Dave.
I'm in it to win it.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm doing manual math. My apologies.
So 1 for you guys that passed.
Made it.
So 1 for everybody. All right. You all are pulling him out of the water. You feel the resistance of something tugging, and you look back and you can see that there's this brown material. It's like this ooze that's connected to Torn's body. You can see it writhing on the surface of his body and just dripping over the water. And he's trying to pull the coffin back as if he's using these long finger extensions. Yeah. And you're going to have to resist it. So give me a strength check.
So is this like a helping roll then? If we're both doing this, or how does
yes,
this...
so like I would have you guys, if one of you wants to be primary, and then we'll see where that puts us, and then I will see if the second person needs to roll.
What's your strength there?
75.
Yeah, it's you.
Okay. 78. I will burn the 3 luck.
Okay. So I'm going to give you an action while this is happening, Harry, to do something else. You're standing by to help, but it's clear that Mike has this under control, and he pulls this thing away, and you watch this brown ooze just sort of break off from the coffin and sort of slurp back towards Torn. What do you do with this free action, Harry?
I kind of want to make a spot hidden to see what I can see within the pool.
Yeah, give me a
right?
spot
Because I don't want to shoot somebody, right? Like he's got gold eyes, and like that's really weird, and I don't know, but like I really don't want to shoot him.
give me a spot hidden.
98. That's a fail.
Okay. Do you want to push it?
Yeah, you know what? I got an 81. Fuck it.
Yes, you do. And this is the 11th hour. Let's go, baby.
15.
Yeah. So what you see is around the area where Tip is walking into, there is it looks as if to your eye, like a giant sinkhole is beginning to form. The water is rushing into it, and the ground beneath is just like sucking down. You can see the water. It's almost like someone has pulled the drain out and it's about to just drop. And you see Tip just wading into this completely unaware. Tip.
I just yell out, Tip, get out of the water.
No, I got my mind. I got to hit this dude on the head.
All right, do it, Tip. You hear a shout from above. Tie the rope around him.
Things that we can do.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to. I've got my gavel.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him on the head with it.
Yes.
As hard as I can.
Ooh.
Not even. Whatever happens. It is a failure. Not quite a critical failure, and by not quite I mean like just on the corner of that.
So you swing up with your mallet, and as you do so,
gavel, please.
Sorry. Show
a little respect for the judiciary members in the community.
Right, your stolen gavel.
I do say the possession is 9/10 of the law.
You aim for a mighty blow, and as you swing down, Torn looks up at you and you lock with those strange yellow eyes, and you can just see the tentacles around the mouth starting to move and writhe in front of you. You can't tell if this is something that you've just seen for real or if you're hallucinating now.
I don't know what is real.
And he just envelops you in this brown ooze and pulls you in towards him.
Uh-oh.
And you feel this sucking sensation.
Oh.
And not the good kind.
Nope.
This and isn't the fun kind.
You are going to take...
I'll be something delicious.
10 damage.
It was delicious.
Oof.
Well, that's quite a lot. I believe I need to make a constitution check for that.
You can feel your flesh pulling away from your body.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I rolled a 07. So I will not pass out, and I will instead scream quite loudly.
Okay. All right. So next turn, Harry, what are you doing?
I shoot Torn then, because that's not natural at all.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I don't think he cares about trying to wing him. He just shoots him. That's going to be a 62 under 65.
Okay. Roll damage.
What is the damage? Is 1d10 plus 2. Come on, 10.
It's a big gun.
Fucking 1. So 2 points. Oh, I'm sorry, 3 points. 3 points.
Okay.
Roll the 1.
And you shoot this thing and you notice that it just kind of sinks into this writhing brown material that's covering the surface of both Torn and Tip's bodies, and it just sort of envelops the bullet. You don't see any evidence of damage.
We've got to go, Mike. We've got to go.
Yep.
We are leaving.
So, Mike, what are you doing? You're leaving.
Yeah, if I have Jackson Elias's body in that coffin, he will work on getting that rope tied around him. He'll get him, outfitted in a nice harness, behind the shoulders, so he can get pulled up by the count.
All right. So you've got him nice and tied up, and you can feel the count struggling to pull him. Let's see. The count is stronger than I would imagine, and you can see Jackson's legs begin moving up the slope away from you. What else do you want to do? You can take another action here.
He doesn't want to stay down here and play with this particular situation, but damn it,
try climbing.
He would, But you know what I'm going to do? I am going to honor this really super sexy text as I continue to promote this particular scenario. Relentless in the pursuit of dreams of greatness, willing to risk life and limb to shed light on great mysteries, but value your comrades above all else. He's on the process of like doing the spider climb thing where he's got his arms and his legs and he should be able to work up the side. And then he's going to hear that sucking sound. He's going to hear Tip screaming. And as much as he really dislikes this particular individual, it doesn't matter because they were a team. They came down here together, and he's going to allow himself to slosh back. He's going to reach into his boot, pull out his knife, and he's going to go after Squidbeard.
Okay. All right.
What the hell are you doing?
I can't leave him. That's a 28 on his fighting brawl, which I'm going to assume he has a decent one. God, at least I can burn luck on combat. I can't push it. Guys, I want y'all to know he has 9 luck left. Regular success.
Okay. Roll damage.
I'm going to assume it's like 1d. It's just a flat, no damage bonus, just a flat 1d6. 2.
Okay. Yeah, and you bury this thing, and the brown ooze just sort of engulfs it, and you feel like the knife is stuck, and you can hear Tip breathing raggedly. Tip, what are you doing?
So I'm inside the creature. Is that correct?
Yes, your head is sticking out, and the creature has like sort of enveloped you and pulled you
like
towards.
Beastmaster, right? When they had those creatures and they enveloped you and they shook, and the guts came out. Anyway.
Yeah.
You're just covered in this ooze.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Becoming one with Torn.
And how far is this man's face from mine?
Very close. You're almost cheek to cheek.
Almost cheek to cheek. I'm going to bite him. I'm going to bite his face as hard as I can.
You better use that mouth for something. Yes.
That's right. This mouth has saved me before.
It might save you now.
It's just a regular fighting brawl. I'm going to try to bite his eyes.
The yellow smoky eyes, yes.
I don't know.
Do it.
He seems to be causing a lot of trouble here, and my friends are in danger.
Listen.
I can use luck, though.
You damn sure can.
I do. That's 19 luck I will spend. That gets me to 63. I bite his eye, his yellow, crazy, weird eye. And I say, take a bite of, let's see. Here comes a bite of justice.
A bite of justice. Quote board. Somebody, thank you.
Let justice take a bite.
How much damage was that?
Let's see here. Does he have a damage bonus? He does not. Give me a second here. I will roll damage. It's a D3. 2.
So your heroic eye bite, and you just watch Tip's mouth just sort of lock on the eye socket, and he just like clamps down. The Torn thing just sort of starts writhing around, and you can suddenly feel, Mike, the ground beneath you, like you feel the sucking sensation, and it starts to sink, and the Tip Torn like entire like conglomeration of all this stuff just begins pulling into the ground.
Oh no.
And you find yourself going down with it. What are you going to do?
Me?
No,
Mike.
You are stuck.
No, I'm here. I'm going down with the ship. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, your mouth is locked on this Torn beast.
Mike, jump!
I'm going to roll for it because I really want to listen to Harry. And I actually like Harry. I'm going to go high one decision, low another. And the decision of the day is backdraft. You go, we go. He's going to do everything he can to make a last-ditch effort to grab onto Tip and stop him from going under. But he doesn't have anything to grab onto. He doesn't have anything to reach onto.
Give me a strength roll.
All right, guys. I have a 75. It's a 25. It's a 25. It's a 25. It's a 25. It's a 25.
So that's going to be
that's a hard success.
Least, right?
I wish I had the luck to pull it down to an extreme. I'm 1 point.
You grab onto Tip, and honestly, the thing that's holding Tip on the strongest is Tip's jaw. You pull him off of this slime ooze, and he breaks 3. And
I get a couple fingers into his mouth and just start pulling him on his cheek.
And
Stop biting.
The amount of force that you have to use to get Tip off of Torn, it throws you back, and you find yourself falling backwards and on the lip of the pool of water that is now just rapidly swirling down, and Harry is standing there right next to you.
He'll reach a hand up to Harry.
Yeah, I will attempt to pull you out, or stabilize you, hold you up, like I guess as the bottom falls out.
Yeah, and you watch the bottom just fall out, and it's this massive sucking sound, and you see the Torn thing just descend into it, pulling all the other guests and audience members down with him. And then all of a sudden, like, the water from the ceiling starts to like flood down, and the roof collapses, and you all are standing at the edge of this pit that's just filling in rapidly with the ground above. And you can hear Jackson stirring above, and he says, "Well, don't just lay around. Get up here." And we'll stop there.
Dig it.
Good.
And that,
Very
friends
good.
of the Symphony, is where our show ends for tonight. Wow. Thank you to everyone who joined us or is currently watching a replay. You guys are indeed the best part of waking up. Wow, Doc. Jesus. We're going to do this giveaway real fast. I am picking a winner, and it looks like Matt, the other Doc. Matt, Doc, Tracy. Doc, slide into my DMs, baby. Shoot me. Actually, slide into Doc's DMs. Send him your drive-through RPG email and your physical address, and he will be able to get you a copy of Swamp Song once it is back from the printers.
Hopefully I can hand deliver it at Origins.
Ooh, that's right, because
There you
Origins
go.
is going to be at the end of the month. That'd be even better. That'll save you shipping. Cast and crew is going to go take a brief break, and then we're going to come back and do our post-Symphony Gala talkback, which is where the four of us are going to hang out, let our hair down. We're going to ask some questions about the scenario. We're going to talk about the content, talk about our experiences. I'm sure the words thirst, daddy, mushrooms, high, and hallucinogens are going to come up a bunch of times. So if you would like access to that content or would like to support the content that we create, please back us on Patreon at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. We do have a Discord with a Pet Picks channel, a therapy lounge, and a bunch of, actually, if you're a backer, you'll get access to our Thirst Trap Not Safe for Work channel, which is just all of us being thirsty and flirting with each other on nonstop. So if that's your vibe, come hang out with us there as well. Stay tuned for more amazing content run by the creators right here on Symphony's Twitch. This upcoming Saturday, we have All Part of the Game run by our actual just winner, Matt, Doc, Tracy. So come join us on Saturday for this Copper best-selling scenario. The cast is Bucho, Mike, and T.A. Newman from the Miskatonic Playhouse. Is going to be absolutely amazing. If you haven't been watching the chat, we do have a bundle for all 5 scenarios that are being run, which is Sorrow and Savo, Jolene, All Part of the Game, Swamp Song, and the supplement by Evan Perlman in Strange Seas. It's right at $11. That bundle is going to be on sale until June 4th. Before we empty out the auditorium, let's go around one more time and say goodnight to our symphonic cast, starting with Doc. Give us your name, where people can find you, and some of the absolutely amazing things that you do.
Keeper Doc, you can find me at prosperopublishing.com. I'm also on Facebook as Dactyl Doc or the Prospero Publishing page. And stay tuned for more from me, but Swamp Song is what I've got available for people to enjoy, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I had a great time playing with everybody.
Whew, this shit was so good, Doc. Oh,
So good.
Keeper Dave.
Hey, Keeper Dave, aka Dave Sokolowski. You can find me every 2 weeks podcasting with Bridget and Murph over at the Miskatonic University podcast, available on all streaming platforms. You can also find me at weirdate.com, where my as is needed, as is the way, long ignored blog is for my publishing. And then you can find me on Drive Through RPG at Weirdate as well. Thank you, Doc. amazing.
Mwah.
Thank
You're
you.
amazing, Keeper Dave. And John, hit us, baby.
Hey, this is John H. I am the host and doer of things over at Legends of Tabletop. We're on all the social media platforms, Patreon, all the other stuff. So if you want to check that out, that's cool. It's mostly just the actual play podcast at this point. And it's just really an excuse to have fun hanging out with awesome people and playing games. So if you like that as well, check us out. And also Cthulhu is available on drive-through as well. Version 2 is up. Version 3 will be much better. There's no due date or time. It's whenever things get done, sort of thing. But if you pick up version 2, you'll be notified when version 3 is ready.
Woot woot. Keeper Dave, we're married. Thank you so much for joining the stream last minute when Oscar couldn't make it. I sincerely appreciate it. We sincerely appreciate it. Pick up Swamp Song, available now on Drive Thru RPG, or pick it up in that sexy aforementioned bundle. Just as another quick FYI, guys, this was Keeper Dave's and Keeper Doc's very first time streaming ever. And they fucking crushed it. So if you would like to start streaming and you're like, I don't know if I can do it, holler at your girl. I'll get you onto a Sonata or one of these games. You will be provided with all the support that you need to make it. It could be scary, but it could be also a whole lot of fun, because I guarantee you I'm going to be able to get these two back on the platform, John too, because it is a lot of fun and you can absolutely do it even if you've never done it before. Doc has never streamed a day in his life. He came onto this platform and ran a kick-ass
You bless my friend. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So stop
it.
gatekeeping yourself out of shit you can't do. You can publish things on the Miskatonic repository. You can publish your own system. You can stream. You can podcast. You can do the things. Get out of your own way. And with that being said, guys, we hope you've enjoyed the symphony, and we look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Have a wonderful night. Mwah.